25 years of Vampire the Masquerade presents The Phoenix Crusade. Hey folks, Brennan here. Thanks for tuning in to our 25 years of Vampire the Masquerade podcast. If you want to reach out or follow us, we're on Facebook and YouTube as 25 years of Vampire the Masquerade, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch as 25 years of VTM, and on our website at 25yearsofvtm.com. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/25 years of Vampire the Masquerade. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Hey folks, before we get started with today's episode, I needed to go ahead and give you guys a slight warning. We had some technical issues with the stream on the day of recording. We stopped it a couple of times to change some settings, but it doesn't appear as though those actually worked. Hopefully by the time we start the next stream, all of that will be sorted. But if it sounds like there's some audio issues, or if there is a seemingly like big jump, that would be why. So all that considered, I still hope you guys enjoy the episode.
Because we got that rap with that, I don't know, that hookah reel.
The rat god? Is that what we're talking about again? Oh, okay.
Rat god.
Hookah.
It's pretty good.
Hookah.
All right, are we good? We ready?
Yeah, we're on.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to continue from a little time lapse here. We're pointing out a couple things. Number one, we last left where Dylan, or who the hell is Dylan? Sullivan. Sullivan. Dylan. Spit hot fire. Sully, was in the brink, needed to feed, and that's what was going on. And we ran out of time. So we're going to leave it up to, honestly, downtimes. It really wasn't the focus of what that was, just the dire straits. And you guys were agreeing to help him find that sustenance at some point anyway. Rather than that be the thing, naturally, we're going to let that happen. So I put Sullivan at 2 by my mark, hunger at 2. As you fed enough of finding that type. However, this did disclose your preference to them. Or let me rephrase this. What you guys would have seen is that there's no real way for you to know exactly why he chose the people he did and was able to keep it down, other than those are the folks you chose. So you won't be too far off the mark there, commonalities and whatnot. I also don't think you cared. I think we more or less started with pig's blood, when why wasn't that good enough? That we had to take him around, and eventually he found something that fit the bill, and that was that. But this gave a solid 2 weeks of planning that folks had to go into because you were thinking of next steps. Now, before we get to that, there is a scene we got to conduct. I believe, Slappy, you contacted your sire, Cornelius.
That is correct. I reached out to Cornelius.
As if he was expecting the call, Cornelius just sends you a text message to an address. Now, that address is pretty familiar to you because it's the Blue Velvet. People come here, either have the loot or they know better. And that's the way it is. But when you walk in and you see that there's I'd say about 30 people here and there. They're mostly drinking, hanging out, talking to one another. Typical fanfare in a local, let me take that back. I can't call it a local bar. Local bar's a different set. But this is a bar, very popular in Upswing with its casual, standard group of people you expect to see here. Difference is Cornelius commands a table all his own, and he rather stands out. First and foremost, nobody's used to seeing an angry brother in these times. That's just not done. Like, this guy sits in here on his own, has a nice little VIP card that's at the end of his table, and servers don't come by him. I would even give you the benefit of the doubt of you coming in and just seeing his mood, looking at him from afar for a bit. He'll occasionally pull out his smartphone, tap something down, but he's just sitting there. And whether he's observing the room or not, it's weird that there's a guy with sunglasses sitting there. What's the military shirt for? You begin to understand your sire and his idea of clothing update. There's anachronisms that we get used to. And you've heard it. You've heard the talk, right? Usually a brewer keep at the times and some others, but even they still are stuck in the time when they were cool. And it seems he's doing the same thing. It's no different. But to give you a vibe, yeah, he's upset. But he hasn't said anything. He hasn't turned to see you. There's no Highlander pull requiring him to turn and go, my shield is here. Nothing like that.
Right. Slappy would enter the building, and upon seeing Cornelius, he would go ahead and approach the table and take a seat. And go ahead.
When he knows you, he stands up, and you'll see him. He'll smile, like, "Oh, hey, you made it!" And he'll take off his glasses. And it's the first time in a long time. In fact, you don't recall ever seeing him with his glasses off, but he has had them off. But you forgot that your sire has these pale green eyes. It was such an unusual combination for him. And he'll sit down with the sunglasses off and let you sit and see this. Is Gene enough? Do you need to order something? You good?
Slappy will just give him a light chuckle and be like, "Yeah, no, I'm good. I took care of myself. Thank you though. I appreciate the hospitality."
Yeah, it ain't no hospitality. I met you somewhere neutral because I know how it is.
Yeah, no, neutral ground is probably good in this time.
Well, I want to take over the conversation and dominate it, but this ain't my meeting. You reached out. I'm glad you reached out. Just want to take a moment to hear you out.
Yeah, it's been a while since we talked, and that's on me. So I do extend my formal apology for that, but you must understand there's been a lot going on recently with me. Rumors have been spreading, I'm sure, and I'm sure you've heard some things. So I'm just here to kind of set it straight, get it right from the horse's mouth. To put it simply, we were tasked by Ballard to take down the prince of the city. And the prince found out, KJ.
Like princes do.
Yeah, as princes do. And we were brought to him. I honestly, I thought that was it for me, but KJ spared me and the rest of my coterie mates. And now we've been tasked with hunting down a Sabbat pack in the city.
I don't know. That sounds like I'd be more worried about why the prince spared you.
Honest to God, I couldn't tell you. I thought for sure I was dead. There was a moment where he asked me to prove my loyalty and acknowledge him as the one prince of the city, which I did, because he is the prince and at that point, he spared me.
All right. Well, what you want to do?
Well, shit, I want to take out this Sabbat pack, honestly. I want to handle this. They be going after us.
Remember back in the day we were forming that little clique? You were the only white boy that dared to cry out against the cop. Ever pulled over there? We were outside that party. That club was it called? I remember that. That was over on Belmont, right? They call that place like Boys Town now. I was over there. And I remember you stepping out and what the hell's your problem? You're talking to the cops. Because he grabbed that brother by the hair and slammed him on the hood, and you weren't having that. I remember that. I remember liking you then, and I didn't even know what you was about, though someone said that you could play pretty good. I remember it was worth checking out. You remember those days?
Yeah. And Slappy kind of looked to the side. He's like, I remember that night like it was fucking yesterday. I remember feeling that. I remember when I used to do shit like that all the time.
Yeah. But things do change. And I'm not telling you some shit you don't know. I'm just, why do you feel you a pocket assassin, Slap?
Well, that's the thing. I ain't a pocket assassin. I don't know. I ain't. And then he'll like kind of like whisper. He's like, I ain't made to kill. He'll show his hands. He's like, these are for playing or fucking handling shit. Like, I don't really want to kill nobody, but I gotta protect my brother. Then I gotta do what I gotta do.
Your brother's only in danger because of you, Slap. That's it.
And I know that. I know that, man. I got involved with the wrong people and now I'm at my rope's end.
Nah, it ain't your end. You reached out. I said to myself, if you reached out, I'd do whatever I can to help, and I have. I got a favor, but I got to know that you're not in so deep that you can't see any other way out of it. Letting you make your own decision. If I told you right now that you can get out scot-free, I can get you out of the city tonight. I can get you out, and then during the day, your brother be out. And before anybody knows, be in Orange County, somewhere in California, figuring it out.
Flappy like kind of look down at the table and like think for a moment. He's like, I got a life here though. And there's still shit that needs to be done. Not even just with my own personal shit. I want to get out of this and I want to go back to the way things were when this was all cleared up.
You did. You said at the beginning. You agreed to the presidency of Chicago. That you agreed to. What sort of outcome is for you? How do you see this out?
My brother out too?
It's going to be a little trickier, but that's only because his wife's going to be hella pissed. She got to leave her new career. But yeah. I got people who make friends and the right friends willing to push y'all up for a bit. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Kill, I'm willing to bet. Easy. You know, play over and out. You got that producer. You got that stuff going on. You'll be all right. In terms of getting them out, miles, we have to move. You're going to need help. Don't go. You know, it's not like a dump money either. I'm willing to help out because I know what she did to you. I'm going to talk to her about that. She hadn't talked to me yet, not since. You understand when someone lays their hands in a bruja on behalf of the venture? Like, you can screw all that there's been beef with venture and bruja since days of yore. I don't care about that. What I care about is that it was done chill to chill. Good relationships with both. And you didn't always see the eye to eye, but you never laid hands on one another until now. And why? And so I thought about it. Simplest solution is that she's going a different direction with the radical crowd and ain't talked to me, don't care to. But you reached out. And whichever one of you did, I was going to ask the same thing. Just go.
So just like that, I'm out.
I'm not pushing you out. I always thought you speak your mind. You need a prompt for that. You tell me. If you say, you stay. But if you're going to leave, you can leave. You don't have to see this through. I didn't choose an assassin to spend forever with me. I chose someone, friend, with everybody, despite skin color, deserved to be treated. Even I thought I chose someone, and I know I chose someone who could hang out and share the life that they never had in life to hang out with others, you know? Play those scenes, play that music, get better over time, show the torter, they ain't the only one with some chops, all that. That's what I wanted to do. And why am I going to lose that? In any other way, you represent the future of what everybody should be thinking about. And hopefully one day, not having to think about politics just because you're an American. I mean, you're saying, like, you go back and you learn that when you see picks and some other bullshit. All sides. They're just other people being cool. And like the things we're trying to build. I mean, I did the dirt for you. Yeah, I'm loyal to the prince. I've talked to some venture. I've even done work for them. That don't mean I'm with them. It just means, like you, I made some choices, but I also have anarchs too. You know, sort of bruja, you choose your own path. You don't let anybody, like, not bullshit. We team up and jump people whenever, like, attack one bruja and attack them. That never made sense to me. That's just some ancient bullshit they throw at you to say that, you know, you always have someone and you don't. Right? Where's your army of bruja because you got in trouble?
Ain't around me.
I didn't see Damien foaming a bus of Bruja to help you out. Not one bit. Because that shit's a myth. Right? Just ain't true. That's some shit some people tell each other to make themselves feel better. Because it was down to it. When the prince looking at you, let's cut the shit. You told Kevin Jackson, the king of the motherfucking streets. His name is more than legend. It's damn near deific. Not just here. South America heard of him. California sure heard of him. Anyone in the streets knows of King Jackson, KJ. Heard of it. That's how heavy his rep is. Now, they won't whisper it outside themselves. I mean, keep that shit under a tight lip. No authority. Ain't no snitches in that regard. But that guy ain't somebody you just go and tiptoe around and pretend you're going to kill him. That might get away with some like Lord Edmund from England's past that nobody fucking cares about. Because a cat like that and connections like that. But Kevin Jackson, what you did was walk and let them know that there are a couple people who are dumb enough or at least easily gullible to convince to go at him. And he showed you a taste of what he's doing. That's it. You got a team together, brought you out to a kill box, and you guys got to walk out because he didn't see you as a threat. We did see you as a pawn. Which means you're going to go and handle his Sabat shit, and what do you think happens after that?
Well, I can only assume that maybe he disposed of me afterwards.
In a public capacity. So you came at the king and you missed. Which means now he's going to make it political. Y'all more than violate the traditions. You challenge his praxis. He's going to make an example. Just not yet. I told you how good you knew you had to change your heart, but I just don't see that happen. If I were fucking him, I'd already done you in. If somebody can manipulate you once, they could do it again. And if you flip-flop once, you'll do it again. You ain't got no trust.
Yeah, that's the thing, Cornelius. If he was going to do it, he would have done it then.
Nah, see, because now if you do it, this buys you time. See how that works? Let me tell you something about KJ. How do you think the youngest loading some kids to the throne when loading left?
With his rule of the streets.
Because you didn't have a motherfucking choice. You think money was going to save Ballard's fat ass? Nah. What, you thought Sovereign was going to step up? What about that Bobby Weatherbottom? Nobody gives a shit about him? There ain't nobody. There ain't a single venture you can put in that place. Not even Alphonse fucking Capone. Steve Nash got disappeared first. His ass is a ghost. Ain't no one know how heard of him. Your only choice was KJ because he didn't give you a fucking choice. And when he stopped, the old engine stepped out of his motherfucking way. His whole existence has been people playing the undercards. You can underestimate him. He only knows a couple armies of mortals. But them mortals are the gangbangers who threw the rule book out about law. They don't give a fuck. They prey in their own communities because they ain't got no choice. The world ain't never given them nothing. And you know this. You know why they're that ruthless. For them, it's blood. You are either family or you ain't shit. They don't care who you are. And they have no conscience because they can't afford to have one. It's the exact opposite of what we tried to build in that sense of community. And we know why those kids took that direction. The police got harder. People threw more money at it. The world's a scary place. But to someone like Kevin Jackson, that was planned for. And he's got infrastructure. And he doesn't care. And sitting up there, he ruthless as it gets, but he isn't an idiot. And that's a mistake a lot of people make. Right? You listen to Annabelle, her ass talk a mile a minute. And she's smooth and she's beautiful, but it's something she sat down and told me once. She said, I only support the prince because he's cute enough for the task. And she was just being funny. Like he ain't nothing. She don't hold no weight to him. But yet, when I see her drive around or people look out for her or her events, I always see 2 or 3 carloads of like brothers hanging out or some people from around the way. Not trying to look like they gang affiliated, but you fucking know they gang affiliated. Right? She'll accept the muscle, but she doesn't pay it any attention. You hear what I'm saying? Like there's 2 different worlds you're trying to dance in right now. And the one says that you're supposed to be part of whatever you want to call yourselves, as coterie or whatever you got. You think you're going to earn points with Jackson by taking out whoever. And the reality is, whoever sent you after him, they're already going to kill you. They're already going to do it. No doubt Jackson let out already that people had seen you and it was you, and y'all had a talk. Well, the people who sent you know you didn't kill him. That's how they got info. So what you think the prince doing? Smiling. Because the folks who sent you got to kill you now. And you're either going to kill them to survive or you're going to be dead. Either way, no skin off his nose. And he sent you after a task. And if you don't do that task, he's still going to kill you. And you're going to sit here and wonder, let me tell you some dumb shit I've heard of before. There's always people who cry and whine to these anarchs about the fact that if we don't do something, every elder going to kill us everywhere we go. And you motherfucking right. Ain't no free ride. You tell an elder you're going to do something, you fucking do it or you're dead. And it may not be right then. It may not be decades from now. But at their earliest convenience, when they want to chuckle and they're bored, they're going to come to collect that loose end that's you, no matter what you think you're doing. That's how it works. And anarchs hate it. Now tell them cry a river. Nobody cares. Think about the people you feed on. They want to be fed on? You think they on that? You don't give a fuck. You treat it as old hat. You got to live, don't you? Elders ain't no different. You ain't no different. So why you going to play and act like you're immortal and deal with these immortal problems? That's all I'm saying. If you're going to be that immortal, take the motherfucking plane tickets and leave, slap. Go live that nice life with your brother Miles and figure it out. Raise a niece, have a family, enjoy life, at least for the next 50 years. And ask get cancer and die and whatever it is. But give time to come back and people forgot about them in that capacity. And then we can hang out. That's the best hope I can give you. Because if you stay here, it's all in. Whatever you choose to do, it has to be complete. You can't half-ass kill someone on behalf of KJ because he's got to be the next motherfucker you take out. Because I promise you, that prince is going to come for you in some way. What choice is there?
Yeah. When you put it like that, the options seem pretty obvious. Man. Yeah.
Do me a favor, though, and think about this. Heavy it is. I think about you traveling the States. Blues. I think every blues man that ever had to travel. You know, go around, play them songs. And I think about you, Slap, about you go to some bluegrass, still redneck area. And thinking they got some white up on stage. And you black as a motherfucker as you play the blues as only people can feel. Chanting berries, man. Blowing them away, giving them class. That's how I want to remember you. Changing people from within, understanding that their ways are bullshit and don't help no one. And the other option is, I got a chilled who either dies trying to fill some fucking weird ass assassin agenda he didn't want to be a part of, or he's going to be a prince killer. Why do I care about princes? Truth is, I motherfucking don't. I really don't. Kevin Jackson's been feeding on this city a long time. I don't hate him, but he's like an institution. Part of the corruption that's in this city. But I'm no anarch. Camarillo is a place to be. Everything else is chaos. What you want to do?
I'll take the tickets.
My man. He'll reach into his jacket. He'll pull out 2 first-class tickets and slide them over to you. And it's one's billed for tonight, and it's at 2 a.m. It's a private jet. Now, for you, the names on there are a little weird because it's like Fred Smith and whatever. But apparently, you don't get to worry about that. That's the impression you get. Don't be nervous either, man. It's the Banu Hakeem run that joint. But I know the guy who really runs O'Hare as well. Ain't nobody going to check you getting up to that tarmac. They know to expect you, in fact, if you show.
Who's the second ticket for?
Well, the second ticket's for whoever you decide out of that group is your friend. Feel me?
Yeah.
I can't think that entire group's just filled with some assholes.
No, and I appreciate that. Thank you for all of this, man.
He'll reach across and slap your shoulder. Don't worry about it. Just, keep your head down.
And Slappy will stand up from the table and just kind of like respectfully nod to him and be like, yo, I guess I'll catch you in 50 years.
You see me sooner. I can visit. And he'll give a grin. I should probably tell you this. I can't leave because, there ain't going to be nobody to help her. If I can convince you the way you chose is bullshit, maybe she sees wisdom too.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be gone.
If you talk to her, give her my best.
Yeah.
And then Slappy will turn and leave the blue velvet for maybe the last time.
All right. And you will head out. Took place last Wednesday. We'll let it be what it is.
Now we are actually back, and we should actually be fine.
All right. So as I said, we were dealing with Ramsey and Warren, and we're saying that in this 2-week period, I'm only picking on you guys because it was very much visceral. The perspective of everybody else is they got connections, and let's be honest, they got cam connects where they're at. You two basically have each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the advent of an absence of rot, oh man, do you guys ever have the shit? The shoes you've had to fill since day one of stepping back in this town. But what do you do getting back to the Haven, realizing no Rot, no Sullivan, even Slappy took time to himself. It's just you two with the most tense waiting period as on all sides. For a fact there are people. Ramsey, you practically made a sing-song list in your head about everyone wants to kill us. It doesn't matter anymore.
Mm-hmm. At least it's exciting, I guess. Ramsey's kind of just going to pace for a while because we're still at that big penthouse one that we technically owe $10,000 for a month. I think this is month 2, but that is at the bottom of my priority list right now. Just kind of like looking at the rest of the city that's out there, especially over towards Millennial Park, where a lot of this momentum started building up. But then he'll turn back and walk back over to Warren. We're going to have to kill a lot of people in the next couple of nights or leave this city. But if we do one or the other, there can't be any back foot or hesitation.
Well, yeah, obviously you're correct, right? But way I see it, wherever we go, there we are. I'm not leaving my crowbar behind, and I'm sure you can't do anything about that black and white attitude. Any home we make is going to be just like this one, right? It's going to be earn your keep or get the fuck out, or I don't know, burn in the sunlight. The thing is, I don't know the first thing to do about what we were asked to do. And I do know that our new sword of Damocles is what is the term? A primogen? Who thinks we owe them a prince?
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you, man. Is the short version. I'm not going anywhere you don't go. And so we can try to eat this elephant one piece at a time, as far as I'm concerned. We've killed people before. Try to make less of a mess on this pass.
Ballard's the first one. Honestly, the easiest one I think we could find. Sully already told me about some doctor his kid was seeing. I think I told you about him already. That's the only other lead I can think to possibly getting back to any spot in the city. Those are the 2 paths we got right now.
Well, for the doctor, all we need is a referral. I looked into him. He's a professional, obviously, so he's not going to just let any old somebody walk into his place. But neither of us, right, have a diagnosis. So we have to figure that one out. As far as Ballard, I looked into that too. And I don't know if my tech guy is in Guantanamo right now or not, but last I heard from him, he said the feds were coming in his door after his equipment. Um, I don't think it. Ballard was the icing on top, right? What KJ actually asked us to do was deal with the Sabai problem, since that's kind of what brought us here in the first place. I think we should start there.
Give me the doctor's name and wherever he works. I can't get in for a referral, but I can watch him, see where he goes, or whoever leaves there, people who work there.
Yeah, you'll see Warren kind of pat himself down and fish out an old business card from his wallet and write you a name and an address. Let's see here. I got it somewhere. Dr. Michael Carter works at the Chicago Psychotherapy Group. Assuming we're talking about the same guy.
Chicago Psychotherapy Group. All right. He'll take the piece of paper after like looking at it for a bit, and he'll go change. I don't remember if these clothes are bloody, Bob. I'm pretty sure these are.
They're bloody. No, they're bloody as it gets. Like your idea of changing clothes has been, I'm going to use water and strain this shit and then continue on since this game started. Like I've seen you put layers on, but this jacket, you're like Freddy Krueger at this point, brother. You just go around stains, trains, and automobiles. And except the one time you dressed them for Elysium, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
As people harped on that. But beyond that, you've had the old tried and true slaughter gown, as we'll call it.
All right.
Slaughter gown.
Well, I see no reason to change what's already worked. I'll layer up, because I think in this game it's still like winter in Chicago. And
it's spring.
It is spring.
As a matter of fact, right? We're starting to get to summer up and rolling, but it's not there yet.
Cool.
We started winter.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Well, whatever. To simplify that, he dresses weather appropriately.
You got it.
Not that it actually matters to him, but you can't spook the herd.
We can, if we're not looking to spook the herd, weather appropriate. You can get away with hoodie and shorts, things like that. Some sort of athletic attire, especially in the city, goes a long way. If you're looking for loose fitting, it's who you're looking to blend in, and how well you do it. This comes down to your etiquette, sir.
I know I got that. I do have that. I got it at 1.
Yeah, but you laugh, but 1 is enough. 1 is the ability to know where you're going and to blend in accordingly. So to that matter, whether you got to stop and buy a few extra or whatever you got to do, there's more than a couple secondhand stores that you can go and visit and buy some cheap clothing and walk out of there with a decent blend-in attire. A haircut would help you blend in immensely. Not wearing shades is another one. The goal of blending in is to not look like you are.
Fair enough. So probably the first time in at least 2 years, Ramsey will actually take off his sunglasses. He will grab like your. I feel like Warren would have like a razor or like the clippers out of everyone else here. He'll take that and he will shave his head bald, leaving all that hair in the sink before putting on like some like athleisure apparel that I feel like he would just steal from Sully because he's done that before too. I am going to go and I'm going to stake out the psychiatrist's place if it's even open this late, by basically posing as someone that's jogging around the area.
And so here, I always believe in a co-storytelling method, right? We're talking about downtimes you did for the 2 weeks, whatever night, whatever day, or whatever night you guys talked about where we're going to do this. This is your time. There is only one night that Warren is absent because he goes on a date. And to that end, I'm going to at least make that past tense for you. You can ask Warren about this if you want to, but I really don't think Ramsey would have said shit. But he leaves dressed up in RuPaul's best and goes out one night. Doesn't say anything. It's like he's dressed as a woman head to toe, and a beautiful one at that, and just dressed in drag and leaves. Now, as Bob would ask him, what the hell you doing, Mike? And he could just tell me about to have a fun-ass time. And that's fine. but I would go for the show. That'd be me. But I don't know if a harmonious would be like, he must be hunting high tonight.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know. I would be like, is he actually like taking some of the stuff I've been saying, like dressing for who you're hunting? Like I would go watch to see what he's doing.
Well then I will give you that. Right, your first stalking would have been to your pack mate here, and honestly, it's a great time. He meets up with a guy you recognize if you remember Sally back in the day.
Yes.
So he does meet up with him, and they're dressed up for a drag show where you can see this entire show is about doing a runway walk for the hottest outfit that a guy can come up with, shaking their tail feather. And what's more important than that, it would be an interesting study I don't know what's your opinion on it, but you'll see him sit down with a lot of guys in drag at this gay bar, having a good time. He seems to be engaged in conversation, gets a kiss or two, holding hands with Sally and, kind of arm around, having fun, meets a bunch of new friends and making a lot of good conversation. Lots of drinks are being had. However, strategically, you can tell he doesn't take a single sip. He's very smooth to do that. But around this crowd, they're like, you're not drinking? More for me. Or somebody will buy him a drink and he'll neglect to drink it. Right? Like, instead, he gives way to constantly pull people out on the dance floor, and show them some moves. And Warren can dance, shockingly. You never knew that. And when it gets to the karaoke, man, do they hear it. But as everybody's getting more and more drunk, he doesn't have to pretend as much. So he's just with this guy until the very cold end, where you can see him just callously dragging Sally around to get him out of the bar. But even the bartender and the people here just treat it as, you got to get a drunk guy home however you can at this point. And more or less picking him up and at one part callously whipping him into the car to climb in himself to get him home. At this point, tailing him is even easier, right? Because he knows he has to get there before time expires. You're not too concerned with the daylight because you have your means. But yeah, he goes to this guy's house and he stays there. Old boy's drunk as it gets. He goes inside. You obviously know about how close it is to dawn. He's going to stay there. Gives you about 20, 30 minutes to get home yourself. Depends if you'd stay there or not.
No, I'd head home.
Okay. But when he comes back, not dressed up, doesn't say a word, seems to be fine. A lot of text messaging going on, though. You know what I mean? When you're out with that magical someone for the first time and they can't stop talking to you, it was a great night, everything's going, we're going to meet again. What do you like? What are your shoe size? What do you do? What do you did? And we get you a gift. All these little cute little conversations, no doubt he's having. You've just been okay, that's a little excessive, but maybe taking notes. Maybe that's how you keep him around. Typically, there might be some benefits to letting people live that you feed on.
My sire had a herd that someone in my life still was a part of. He might just be building another one differently. Maybe there is something to that. But yeah, after that, I would go look at that freaking psychiatrist office.
This is a different ball of wax.
Mm-hmm.
It's another night, right? You're leaving and playing accordingly. First off, this institute, the Chicago Psychiatry Institute here, is standalone, right? It'd be like going to, it's as if the medical industry in the city of Chicago decided they're competing heavily and have become their own little side businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, it used to be go to one conglomerate of doctors. Or maybe I go see a doc about my knee and he's over here. And I go see a gal about my cough and that's over here. Then they became under one house. And then they were part of a hospital. And suddenly, these instant care clinics start popping up everywhere. Well, that small mom and pop stores start getting bought out to allow more and more places in. And it's not the evolution of it. It's that you can see evidence of that as you're driving through, even heading to this place. But this place has been established probably for a while because it's about 4 stories, has its own building entirely. They're on the marquee, places where to go, who to see. And we receive people here as late as 10 p.m. that you could tell that's on there. Pretty much 5 to 10. Now, to make it make sense to you, just going by your sheet here, you could figure out quick investigative work. That's because they have staff that double up. They have an extensive staff list of psychiatrists and psychologists, and some meet during the day. That's obviously morning shift on, and then those who meet at night. The people who meet at night are probably most of the adults.
Mm-hmm.
They get off work later, whenever, and they got to stop by and do it, and that's when it happens. And so it's up to you. If you're going to walk in and see where this guy is, that's that. But not knowing what he looks like or what to expect. I mean, this is what I mean by not knowing what he looks like. On the website, you can see his image because they're big on letting patients know who their doctor is about before they get there. It's establishing comfort early. And you can understand that really helps if you're stalking him. But people on an ideal photo are not the same when you meet them in person typically.
Right. There might be a haircut change, or they might be wearing glasses or contacts.
Put on weight and didn't update it. Lost weight and didn't update it. You know, it's both, right? It's hard to tell. But you're in that moment where you're like, a couple people, that could be him. No. That guy's got gray hair jogs. No. You know, you're doing this back and forth a little bit going on. Hard to tell. You may have to go in and see if you can see the guy.
Yeah. All right. This is just a form of hunting, not the type of hunting I typically do. I'll rouse for blush of health. I think they call it in the system. I can never remember. Blush of life, blush of health. I think everyone knows what I mean.
It means the same thing to me, right? I get what you're getting at.
But after that rousing, I'll go in and I'll look around the place and try to set up an appointment.
It's not hard. When you walk in, and first off, they'll tell you in the sign that they don't take walk-ins. That's what it says, right? Like, call this number to figure it out. It's up to you if you call it, but that's what it says. Maybe you can come up with a different reason as to why they would have to take you now. Like, you know, you're already here. You ever notice that? How everybody always feels they're the exception?
Uh-huh.
It's what you say to all the people who don't try. Right?
Yeah, actually, I think I would go in and act like that entitled person. Especially if I am wearing some of the athletic stuff I got from Sully that looks like higher end stuff, I think I can sell this.
Fair enough. You're trying to sell the appearance of a guy who needs help. What do you think's fair here? Help me out. I don't want to be too cruel here. I have an idea. I fully think this is based on your wits. You're thinking on your feet as you're going in to circumvent a problem. Do you agree?
I do.
Okay. To that, investigation can't help you, and you're a tracker. Blending in is a function of etiquette to kind of blend in with the crowd. It's not a question here. If anybody looks like a patient and you look acceptable. So you got that down already. What this is, you're trying to go in and make the case that you need help. And you're here now to kind of set that up. Mm-hmm. Do you have an idea how you would like to approach that? Or are we just going to try just go in and say that and see what happens?
The way I want to sell that is I've got a referral for Dr. Carter. Right. But other than that, like,
I like it. So you're going to lie.
Yes.
Got it. So simple thing, right? Wits. We're going to roll here subterfuge. Trying to convince her that there's been an accident in the paperwork, however that is.
Excellent. That's Chronicles of Darkness. That's not the one I need. How about I just... Oh, it's the yellow one.
And your difficulty is 2.
Okay. No. My hunger is 2. Not beyond that. I met it.
All right. Now, what happens is the lady behind the counter is this, I'd say she's middle-aged, definitely African-American woman, looks rather tired, right? And whether she's been there all night or just starting, it's hard to see. But you could tell there was like a faint smell of some sort of meal that was just ate, some sort of vinaigrette. It's always strong and pungent, and it's still in the trash can. You could sense it immediately to stare at her, sort of a sourness to it. But looking at her, maybe she's energy down due to dieting. That's where your guess is. She is not overweight, but you know that's a lot of your victims lately. Like, they're really hyper obsessed in these offices about how they look for whatever reason. And you just are going with the mold. And she'll tell you, she doesn't even contest it when you're like, oh, I have a referral for doctor and blah, blah, blah. And kind of go, and by blah, 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 what that is the constant, my friend so-and-so at a bar set it up, said he knew him, and he called ahead and did it for me. So I'm here honoring that, although I don't think I need any help. You throw that in and she's like, okay, yeah. Let me see if he'll take you now. Normally you call this in, but either way, she'll take a clipboard that has like 3 pages on it. She goes, you're going to have to fill this out as you wait, and I'll go talk to him and see if he'll take you tonight. You get a clipboard and a pen, and it's a simple questionnaire. It's an intake form. right? It asks for your patient's info, your address, all that. Then it asks for your insurance and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Are you going to accept charges that are out of pocket? Yes or no? The whole usual. But then it gets that back sheet. Why are you here? And, there's a whole bunch of things to check off, though. It's like, why are you here that you're saying? And then it's, how are you feeling right now? And, what you want to check off there, like everything from nauseous to anxious to angry to whatever reason, it's there. And at the end of it, it's asking you just a simple question. You know where you're here. This is how you're feeling. What do you expect to get out of visiting or seeing the doctor, more or less?
Gotcha. Yeah, he would be lying about it. Other than like, what are some things you think you suffer from? Anger issues. It's not really a lie. It's also not what you're expecting, maybe. But we can work that out in therapy, I guess.
So, whether you're expecting it or not, she will come back to get you, and you spend the requisite hour of waiting. Right.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, you'll see that there's a young man who's in there. You don't know what work he came from. If he works at all, doesn't matter. They don't talk, right? People here don't. There's an awkwardness that Ramsey will pick up on. 4 folks are sitting in this place. They're not all to see the same doctor, but they all have the same kind of motif. They don't want to make eye contact. They want to be left alone. They're on their phone or reading a magazine. Seem like they're in a hurry, but they're here for a reason, right? So you're here to get help. What's the rush? And everyone that goes doesn't want you to know. And you can read that awkwardness like a book. They feel there's something wrong with them because they're here. Right? They're not open to talk to people about their weaknesses. Nobody ever is. And so to that end, you pick up on that more than a little bit as you just kind of leave them alone in their own world. But you're also put off to them because you're confident. You're somebody who sits here because you don't really have a problem. Well, you have many problems, but none of them you view like them. You're not here to see this guy for any reason than to just see him. And more or less, though, you do get to go to the back, follow her, ask for a water bottle, all that bullshit. But you get to sit down in a nice room where there's a desk. There's the doctor himself sitting behind it. And he is sitting. You can tell he just had a client. Seems to be a likable guy. Kind of at ease, very much clinical. And he'll just pardon me, I understand that we didn't get your intake right. And this is a formality anyway. A first meeting should be. We're just going to sit down and, have a chat, see how you're feeling, see where you're at, see if I can help. If we can help each other, if this is worth either our times, It's up to you. And I know it's your referral. And these bar referrals can be a thing. It's I find it very refreshing that it's never a guarantee if somebody's going to come in based on that. But because you're in here, I'm going to take it as a positive that you feel that maybe you need some help. But how about save me some time as we'll put the clipboard to the side? Tell me why you're here.
I a bar referral, right? Like one of my good buddies, I've been talking to him about some things that have been popping up. Then he said that his son had been suffering from something similar and that you really helped him with it. I've been having like a lot of like real anger issues lately and like a lot of insomnia. I feel a lot more active. I don't ever feel any tired, but it's, I can't sleep anymore. And I think he's also tired of like me calling him up to do like the midnight jogs and all that. That's how we know each other from like, gym and running groups. Right. But yeah, he said you worked wonders for his son. So I should give you a shot.
Can I ask about this buddy's name?
Sullivan. Brendan can't remember Sully's last name.
That doesn't mean your character does.
Right.
Right? That's the question. You can't remember. Does your character? Did you ever? That becomes the question.
Isn't Sullivan his last name?
This is intelligence plus your composure. As you're trying to pause long enough to be able to get down what Sullivan's last name is.
This is my most impressive pool ever. That's a 3 pool. In case you didn't pick up on that, that's not great. No, I don't. So
you don't recall it, or one could use a willpower to really dig deep.
I'll use it. I can dig. Apparently, I don't.
So, no, I was taking it as a succeed at a cost. I should have said that.
Okay, I'll succeed at that cost.
Why the willpower? So he doesn't notice. right? As you're like, because the part of Ramsey's like, why would I ever call him by his last? I don't care about his last. You know what I mean? Like, just that he responds to what I call him, usually shithead, right? It's one of those things. And you're like going, Carter. It's Carter. And you do say it like that, and he'll pause. He goes, well, I do know the name is familiar to me. He'll blink a couple times and look down. And he'll look back at you. Do you suffer from the same? I hate saying this. I don't want to say that. You said sleeplessness, that you go on midnight jogs.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And when you go on these midnight jogs, where do you end up?
I don't like being around like a lot of like the noise of the city at night or like a lot of people. So I'll go to like a lot of the I'll even sometimes go to some of the suburbs, right? Some of the smaller parks around there. And I know you're not supposed to, right? Parks close at 7 p.m. or dusk and all that. But like I park far away. I'm not doing anything there. And it's much more like clear headed. I'm not as angry anymore. But I guess you can call it like lost time and just lose track of time sometimes.
So at this point, what is Ramsey going for talking to this guy? Because here, as you're deep in here, these questions, you could tell they're going to get more involved.
Mm-hmm.
And every lie that you can conceive, he's designed to read into you. And to be fair, Ramsey really does think this guy knows you're bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the smile. It could be the indifference. It's a very calm demeanor, but he occasionally writes on this notepad. And you can't see what he's writing down, and it's shorthand. It's never long. And it's just like, okay, with that demeanor. So, I don't want to get into that, but tell me where you jog, where you go to. Okay. So you're out at night and it's the sound of the city bothers you. Okay. And city. Okay. And he's putting it down and you're thinking to yourself, shit, I said sound of the city. I live in the city. Like that's, the address is going to show that. Why do I live in the city? If I have a problem with the sound of the city, wouldn't I just move? And like these thoughts are in your head as you're trying not to trip yourself up before you realize this guy's just staring at you for a moment as you're going on and on about a story.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'd feel Ramsey would have a goal. If you're just here to meet the guy face to face and talk, you've achieved it.
Right. My actual goal with sitting down with him, like see him, I know what he looks like, right? I talked about following to his place and like maybe figuring out his routine. I'm not worried about that right now because now that I know what he looks like, I can attempt that later. I do want to figure out because he said something. He had an interesting reaction when I gave Sully's name. I want to see if he knows about vampires, basically.
Okay, how would you do that?
I'm gonna probably take a step away from lying and talking about, I get really hungry. I don't like processed foods. It's more like, I didn't usually like well steaks. I always grew up like eating medium rare, but now like I can't even palate anything that's not almost completely rare.
Have you thought of becoming vegan?
Vegan? Why?
Oh, well, the human body responds to opposites in terms of a diet. Your gut biome is used to red meat. And if you're getting hungrier and hungrier, it could be psychosomatic. You believe you're hungrier, really you're not. It's the fact that your body's not getting the total nutrition it needs, and therefore you're distracted. Your body's seeking an actual vitamin that it's not getting from just your sustained red diet, it sounds like. Now, I'm not a nutritionist, but I know a bit about dieting, and I see a lot of patients who kind of get into this rut that you believe you know best or well, but you're only researching on one part of it. But if you switched vegan and tried doing that for about a week or a month, I bet you would cycle back to where you're starting to realize what total nutrition is and what you need to put in your system. And somewhere in the middle, you'll find a sort of holistic balance to what you're doing. But that's not a one-stop shop, and only you can determine if you need to do that. There are several nutritionists that are linked with our clinic that I could set you up with as well after this for a referral. And in fact, we'll write that for you. I think that would help you. You mentioned sleeplessness, lack of energy. It could be the diet you're on. A lot of what you're saying seems to be diet-based, but I don't want to state that that's what it is only. But we'll definitely check for that, see if it helps you. What do you think?
I think we can do that. Energy thing, right? I'll follow up with the nutritionist.
Now, if I could ask some basics, if you don't mind. Any drug usage? Vitamins, steroids, anything like that?
No.
Okay. And anything you tell me is confidential. And don't turn around and report to the police department unless it's a harm to yourself or to others. It's about the only time I will have to do that, obviously. We look out for your well-being as well as everybody else's.
I understand. No, I'm not using anything now.
Okay. Nothing like marijuana, even recreational.
No.
Even I eat edibles. I'm just saying. It's legal. A little relaxation's okay. It's healthy. But all right. So we don't use, we're not in anything, and none of that's inhibiting in a way. So you have this natural aggression. You said anger is what brought you in here. What makes you angry? What's making you angry?
Everyone has we've always had things that make us angry whenever we encounter like rude people, road rage, all that stuff. I've had like an increased reaction. It like keeps going farther than that. More than that, I get more angry when like personal space is violated. Like I can't even sit on a freaking public bus anymore without.
He really starts writing in his little notebook at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Couple quick notes.
Yeah, it's like I've been thinking about moving out to some suburb somewhere, but housing, am I right?
I would say you're right. You certainly say you are.
Thanks.
You have to understand where I'm listening to you. I'm also trying to follow the logic of what you're saying. I have to be able to communicate with you, and you know that I'm not just blowing smoke at, right? I say that because you seem to be a straight shooter, and I want to definitely get that out the way. I feel that what you said is enough because I don't want to make this actually anything we dig into. But right now, you say anger is your biggest focus and lack of energy. There's two ways we can handle it. I like to spend maybe I'd say 60 days. If I can get you coming in here like maybe twice a week. Is this a good time for you?
Yeah, this is usually a good time.
Yeah, let's put you down here to come in and just sort of, what I want you to do is start doing two things. 2 journals, real simple, real out of the way. Like when you get out of your shower before you go to bed every night and whatnot, or however you unwind, I want you to pull out this journal and kind of jot down through the day, whatever it was that started making you angry. It could even be something that just annoyed you, just to see where that is. But I also, that's before bed, right? When you wake up, I want you to write down how you're feeling. And it's okay if you get wordy. Typically, the wordier the better in the morning. I want you to write down what you're feeling and how it is you're tackling your day and see where you're at. What we're trying to gauge here is just where your brain's at and how you adjust throughout the day. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. And then we'll wait a week, right? You don't have to bring it into me every session, but I want a week from now, we'll have all that come in. And next time you come in here, we're just going to tackle some thought process, look at some of that lab work, what the nutritionist has to say to you, and we'll go there. And we'll see what we're dealing with. Narrow this down a little bit, see if we can help you out. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. He'll stand up and reach across to shake your hand.
Yeah, I'll shake it.
Like, all right. If that's all you have for me, unless there's something more.
No, not tonight, Doc.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go then so I can handle the next patient who's going to be here shortly. I was looking at the time. And just take you real quick just to see if we can just I'm glad we could. And here's hoping, man. Have a good one. Stay safe. Stay calm. I want you to think of this. When you leave and go out in the city, just remember nobody is paying attention to what you're doing. Right? There's nobody out there who's trying to make you mad. Remember that. No one's goal is to piss anybody else off. They're not aware of it. So this means it comes down to our perception of how we're taking everything around us. Spend a little introspection on, see what you think. Dream journal that if you need to. And that's something that I want to see in that docket so we can see how you are and what you want to do with it.
I'll remember that, Doc. I'll remember it. Thanks.
It was nice meeting you. And it's like I could show you out, or you remember the way?
No, I got the way. Thank you.
Well, not. And you'll see him take a bottle of water, and you're either leaving or you're going to creepily stare at him.
No, I will leave. I'm not going to turn on the creep factor for just yet.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll leave and start walking away like from the lock. I do want to try to circle back because this is somewhat late at night. I'd imagine close to their closing time.
It is.
Just in case, like the guy who might be coming out when they're done is Sully's kid. How would I know what Sully's kid looks like? I wouldn't. I have no idea what he looks like. So I don't actually know if that would be any good.
Well, we don't know, but you're going to sit and watch and wait for him to leave at least.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point of this. Yeah, there is a guy who comes and picks up, gets in the car to go head on out. Seems pretty cool. Let me get his photo because you love those. We all do. Now, whoever this guy is, younger guy, could be his son. You have no idea. Like the doctor didn't say kids or not. And when they pick him up, they seem friendly enough. Kid comes walking in, and moments later, I say about maybe 5 minutes of that, comes out with the doc and laughing, and they're heading towards the car, which is nothing unusual, right? It's like a standard SUV. You do see the other people in the SUV, but it appears to be a maybe a little older than middle-aged Caucasian woman who looks tired. It's been a day. It's late, picking him up, and they're about to head out and go somewhere else. And the other person's car is a young girl, maybe 17, if that. And she has a headset on, like she doesn't want to be there. You're getting the feeling this must be the family.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Makes sense that this kid would be Dr. Carr. He's just going in to get dad, and tired mom is driving the SUV. So I'll just watch them drive off.
Okay. What I want you to give me, since we're doing a lot of watching, we're watching things and checking out things to be watched. We're going to look at the old, get my two here. We're going to do intelligence, and let's go with awareness.
That's not bad. Two successes, three successes.
You definitely see the surrogate. You 100% see him. He's in the back, the very back, where the child is sitting, her head sits leaning back. The surrogate's kneeling there. It seems like everybody's in the car when they leave smiling. Like there's something to it. He doesn't turn and look at you creepily. Probably doesn't even know where you're there. Remember, you look very different. You dress to blend in. Don't have the murder shawl on, so there's no way for you to stand out with your dark, creepy hair and your Ed Ramirez sunglasses. That's that.
All right. Yes. Okay. This is good. I'm not going after and like slaughtering an SUV to get to the surrogate, in case anyone was wondering if I was going to do that. I'm going to watch them leave. And then I'm going back to the Haven to talk with Warren.
Easily done. In rendezvousing with Warren, we'll pause. Hold that thought there. We're going to rotate around to Sullivan. You have spent, much like we talked, it is one hell of an evening with Ballard the last couple weeks, learning what it is to have angered and be in service. This is because Ballard's been preparing for the fact that someone apparently tried to kill Kev Jackson. And he is ranting and raving about, trying to kill, you should have killed. You mean there was a task given, it should have been done. And a lot of blister, as you're going to take it, is going on. Always on phone calls, always talking with other members of the band, especially those who are in the boardroom, same as you. And when it gets done, he'll just look at you and he's like, they're coming tonight, right? We have a night set aside. They're not escaping. Now it's total servitude. 2 more times in their mind.
He'll be like, that is exactly the reason why. They are very well aware that today is the second evening, tonight is the second evening.
And he'll point to you with the sausage finger, and you will see it done. As he'll get down to my side. You have work to do.
He'll not and excuse himself and darting back. Quite annoyed.
When finally allowed to leave, the world is your oyster, the night air hits you. What's your intent? To this night, this would be the Friday night.
His intent is to start heading back over to the Haven and giving everyone a call, letting them know that they need to meet up. They have an opportunity to meet with Ballard, but today is the second night that they drink.
Okay. And that'll be our start here. Slappy at this point, giving you a lot of time to think and decided if you're going to leave or if you're going to stay.
I think Slappy at this point would probably end up leaving, especially with the promise of his brother being taken care of and with him.
Okay. Not seeing anybody else just take off as instructed?
No, he would definitely reach out and try and get that second ticket off.
Okay. So being that this is Wednesday night, and if you're trying to talk to Sullivan, as I just said, my messages are going to my Wednesday, like no answer at all. For obvious reasons, it just explains it under a very hostile permission for that length of time. It's unusual. But in a search, if it's Ramsey or why do we do that? I keep wanting to call you Walter or Warren. If it's Ramsey or Warren, feel free to talk to them. But we know we're out of town. So your options are limited unless it's a certain retainer you have. Although I thought you were a package deal anyway.
Yeah. No, Mason's a package deal. I know that he can get out of town on his own once things are settled, but I think that Slappy with Warren.
So Warren, in lieu of waiting for a certain someone to come back, what we're going to say is Wednesday night. This is after Tuesday Night Fever. I don't know why Drag Night is on a Tuesday night, but it seems like we'll put this in a chronological order now. As it'll be that good old Wednesday. You get a call from Slappy.
Hey, Slap, what's going on, man?
Yo, Warren, what up? I got some heavy shit here. I got an offer for you. I might have safe passage for us.
Us?
Like me and you.
Uh-huh. When you said passage, I take it you mean out of Illinois?
Yep. Going to Orange County. I'm going, but I'm extending the offer to you. You always had my back when I needed you.
Well, Slap, still back, maybe when some of this stuff goes over, we'll come out there and see you, but
Warren, my friend, man, I gotta tell you, I don't see any way that this is blowing over. We made a play for the king, and the king found out. Like, you gotta get the fuck out of here, dude. Like I said, this is a professional courtesy, me extending this offer. But I think that if you don't follow me, I don't think I'll be seeing you again. It'll be real good, man. It'll be real good. Just hit the ticket with me. Private jet, straight to Orange County. Me and you. We'll get an apartment when we get there together. Lay low, 50 years. It'll be good. It'll be a good start.
Listen, all I know for you is my confidence. If you want me to keep this close to my chest, or you want me to tell fellas, I'll let you take the call, man. But I'm definitely leaving Ramsey, and even if Ramsey wants to go, he probably want to settle up here too first.
All right, man. That's your call. Not for the ticket to Sully, but
Yeah, Sully submitted. He's a good soldier. I used to be that kind of soldier. But you be safe.
All right. Last chance?
You tell the fellas or not?
No, it's just my best.
All right. You want to hang up?
All right. Well, Slappy, if there's one thing that having two seats on the plane is never bad for the room, there is that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess before his plane ride, he would, he'd reach out Mason just to give him the full demo, his retainer.
So good old Mason, Mr. Selly, is to feel the nail in the coffin, all but the last one, right? Not through any fault of your own, man. We said this, right? As it keeps going, he keep adding new vampires who agreed heroically to play his retainer. You're kind of a shit show anyway. There's been like 5 no-call no-shows for Slappy showing up to make plays anyway, not knowing what's going on, and there's almost so many plates you'd spin to help this guy's career out in the city. You're looking at the drain. Like, you're the Blue Velvet, you'll fuck off 4 times. There's where are we going to get you to play? Like, at this point, we're going to be going to like the local Irish pub and brunch in the morning, and maybe he can play there, but oh wait, can't do mornings. What are you going to do? Jump up there and pretend to be Slappy? Like, those frustrations, you're looking for where the blues can be played. There are tons of gigs he'd get in New Orleans, tons of them. And the further south you go too, there's a whole blues circuit one can do, especially during the summertime. To look for it. Chicago has like some sort of fest that goes on. It's called the Chicago, where they try to hire talent to come out and do that. But during the day, they do it at nighttime. But Slappy, big, huge crowd. It's not the feel he goes for. You know that. It'd have to be something else. But that's about all they have going for them as far as that goes. Specific jazz-oriented events, which of course are where you go. Normally they do local anyway. This guy's a talent. He just has to know it. And they're close to breaking through. So you're looking at New Orleans and trying to figure out how you can pitch down that jambalaya tastes good in the blood, right? And you get a phone call from Slappy.
Slappy, baby, it's been a while. I'm working on getting a couple gigs. No, we got our choices are getting a little slim, but I think I gotta get on the north side of town. How's it going?
Yeah, put a pin in those, Mason. Start looking for gigs in Orange County because that's where I'm going tonight.
Orange County.
Yeah,
baby.
I'm packing up and leaving.
Oh, it's that. Okay. Sure. Orange County. No, I once did a couple gigs for an early career in LA. I think I know a couple people still in Orange County. I can get some stuff. You stay home tonight?
Yeah, leaving tonight. Moving.
Kiss groupies goodbye. All right, Orange County, here we come.
Nah. You know there'll be more groupies, Mason. Don't you play that with me?
Now, are we still using the same type of venues? The small, not the big ones. The day gigs, obviously, but are we still doing these small locations, these niche spots?
Yeah, keep it small. Keep it. So you coming with me, right? In a
Oh,
month?
of course, baby, girl, number one. Of course, I'm
Making
gonna
sure.
be there. I'm gonna get on the first flight out of here,
All right, you want this extra ticket then?
baby. Oh yes. Do I need to? Do I need to bring it? Never mind. You know what? I'm just gonna leave the stuff in the hotel. They'll get it. They get it enough. I'll come over. What time's the flight?
2 a.m. And I'll text you. It's a private flight out of there.
We going in style. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, Mason. I really love your enthusiasm here, man. Ain't gonna lie. Whole new life for the both of us, huh, brother?
That's right. That's right. We're gonna get ladies, drugs, and music, baby. All right. I'm gonna call a cab. I'll be up there before the flight. 2 a.m. Private jet. Baby, this is gonna be awesome. It'll be great for you.
Yeah, it'll be real great. Thanks, Mason.
I love you, homie. You're my brother. I'll be over there. See you soon.
Hey, nothing but love, brother. Click.
And immediately your buddy's on the phone. As you look around at your studio, it's over $27,000. Developing a sound studio, film, and your very clientele around the area. You have a talent portfolio, of which Slappy's not the main. You've always wanted to be like open about that. He's not. You have 2 or 3 comedians locally who all support in here that use on the studio a lot to come in and kind of just practice their sets. They're pretty good locally. Do a lot of scenes. People really like them. They're well received. Woke seems to be the thing. And if it isn't woke by a sight, right? He makes Chappelle like a nun, but people love him for it. He's so savage when he gets up there. His prime director taking on hecklers. He loves hitting them, and it's great to have him. But local talent rarely wants to leave locally. And you're in a sound studio. How are we going to do it? Don't forget, you have your wife, and then you have your 2 girlfriends. And well, it's really easy when they're in suburbs and you're watching the city, which is where your sound studio is, but this gets out of hand, and you're now going to uproot your entire life and go to, well, that's where Slappy is, right? That's where that is. Someone will pay for the rent, someone will sell the place, someone shit. As you literally feel that your life has just been grabbed, chuck this in someone else's pocket. You don't know what you're going to do. You know, nobody out in Orange County. Your whole existence has been Illinois. And it's the long stare that I expect in Mason's face right there.
You already hung up, right?
He did, yeah.
Okay. Well, shit. Now I gotta do this around. I'm gonna start making some calls to the next group of people. I'll start with the comedian that likes to heckle. I'll be reaching out to him first just to let him know, hey, we're gonna shift this around to find somebody to help co-share the lease of the location or everything.
There's a lot of what I like to call damage control you're putting in place, right? Letting people know what's up, what's going on. And thankfully, leave the reality behind us. You can for a time, just in case. You can take the flight and go there. A month isn't going to mess with anybody. Unless your bills are paid for a month, you find you can do that. Maybe Snappy's on the bender. Right? He's only on the downslope. He just needs to go out there. He can get laid by like several heads. Maybe some guys, who knows? You know, like Snappy's always weird. And
right.
Depends, right? The blues guy, tell no tales, right? And you remember, it was a Dr. Someone Luther happening, jump shot guy. What do you say? Way? You don't remember. You don't really remember. There's a lot going through your head as producers do. As you're trying to now somehow make these connections work as you're packing your bag to go as well. Obviously, what you two are doing, I invite you to hang out. We're going to transition to these 3 and see where we are here for the moment, gentlemen. Do appreciate not running on a point here. But bear with me. What we're going to go to now is we'll wait for Brennan to reappear in a digital seat. But there's still open floor for Sullivan or Warren to make any last minute adjustments. I know, so actually not Sullivan, Warren, because basically Sullivan's waiting to show up and have those talks.
Well, if I have our timeline correct, I have already had my evening with the inimitable Sally.
Yep, Sally. Yeah, just to talk.
Me and Ramsey are presently in the middle of research trying to figure out what the steps are for our rapidly dwindling code. Man, I think I'm okay right now. I kind of want to check in on dump truck, but when I look at my sheet, I don't see a way that Warren knows how to do that safely.
Sure does. Warren has an idea behind law, and if he has been taken into custody, they got to say where it is. He told him he got arrested, or who arrested him. It's a matter of calling up a bail bondsman, figuring out if they could find him in a system. If can bail can be posted, or at least know where he's located.
Yeah, okay. If I can get into that research, I will on Ramsey. That's definitely worth my time.
Sure. It's hard to deal with dump truck. Is the thing, right? How do I look up a guy named dump truck? But you go over, and to let you know what happens, a lot of these, when you arrest a quote unquote hacker, what happens is they give their aliases up. They absolutely do. Because hope is anybody associated, they're going to be able to paint that together too. So if I know Bernogle, and I only know Bernogle, and I'm up there as Hot Rocks 312, and I'm doing black hat work, and I get busted, sure I give them an alias, or they probably already know it, but they're also going to look for anyone else with known aliases for the same reason. And people look as well. You know that before you do this. But it's up to you if you want to do it. You can find them based on that because they want someone to come and talk with them and help them out. That's sort of how these things, really any criminal that runs afoul of this.
Actually, since I'm aware of that, I kind of story, right? He's a hacker. I'm asking it for him after alias. I have no reason to think that if I call them, they're going to my phone station. Give me a problem I don't need right now. Give me. I want to do it now. I'll come back to it down, but not.
And it's the thing. Ramsey seemingly relieve this dash and go through to help out and leave the door.
And if you didn't ask for, he shakes his head bald. I don't remember if you're there for they're not worn. But he's also taking off the athletic wear, like that jogging suit. He'll look right. I found surrogate.
You bullshit.
He's with that doctor, Dr. Carter. He's in with his family. 2 kids, wife, him.
You say Ian? Like, what did you see, my guy? Is he Uncle Surrogate now, or?
I don't even know if the family knows he's there. I didn't see him interacting. I just saw him in the back of the SUV.
Yeah. Okay. That is news. Okay. Like number?
No. Can you track them with that?
Maybe.
Can I make an intelligence composure roll to see if I can fucking remember it?
There is no flipping backflip any way in hell that after the fact you go, casual Blanton, not really paying attention to that. Do I know the license plate? You know whose car that is, and you know where you saw it at. So, I mean, that's just a matter of time if you go back and really get it.
Mm-hmm. You need it, we can get it. Or we can wait till that car shows up there. I'm sure it'll be there tomorrow or whenever he's back there.
Yeah. I'm just trying to avoid the kind of mistakes we've made in the past, right? And another time in our life, we've just kicked the door, go get what we want and leave. So we don't stay on the merry-go-round of man.
So I'll watch.
Let's walk through this. You go back, you watch it. Then what? We trail them to their house.
Mm-hmm.
We identify the surrogate. If he's not there, try again. Is that the move?
We'll find out where they live, and the surrogate will be at that house again. We just have to wait until he is. Mistakes we made in the past were largely, bad calls because of a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you can say I fucked up.
We take this slow, and we don't rush it. We can take him. The surrogate never really wanted us to see or be a part of that side family he built up. Remember that? I don't think he'll bring Tom or anyone else in his new pack there, not unless they're desperate.
Oh, I forgot that. It's some good hunting.
And remember, maybe also shrug his shoulders, or he changed his tactics, and they're all there.
Your guy, when you went to see him, was he getting worse for the wear? He looked like he was being held hostage with his family by a group of maniacal vampires.
Didn't.
All right, we got to shut for it. I like this. Good fucking job, man.
Randall finished changing into Freddy Krueger out again.
All right. The murder trial is in place.
You know, if you was interested, I could show you where I shop. I also know some guys uptown. They prefer the buzz cut. They got this thing called Uptown Fade. It's real nice. It's very. It looks surprisingly good. Like that, you know, you think any ways to make it work, but you totally don't. Okay. Yes.
Okay. And he'll go just like sit down on the couch.
All right. And sitting on the couch, as they say. At this point, we're going to go through what we like to call the rest of the time, right? A lot of this is to compress to figure out what we got going on and limitations of what all you can do in light of 2 weeks, right? And there's some blows here. Warren ain't nothing, but we're going to get caught up to the infamous strategies 2 nights later. And you guys had that message that comes from Sub. Now, there's no response at all from Slappy. And that should be too unusual in that regard, Alvin. And Slappy, for you know, that's because part of the new identity shtick that you get getting over there is to, of course, know when to participate and not. And you can't confirm that's Sullivan, right? And you don't know the outcome of what goes on yet. And we're going to hold that thought, though, for a moment. But back to Ranch. What do you do, Say? Do you say, we're here, come on over, or what do you do?
Yeah, I'll respond to Sully. Just drink #2 ?
Yes. Also very sappy. Has anyone seen that?
Well, I can tell you what I probably did, but Slappy,
So this text message didn't to you getting there anyway, Sullivan. So do you get there, usually you go, hey, I'm just confirming that Ramsey and Warren are there.
Yes, Ramsey is there. He's just not responding to Sully.
So, probably nothing new, to be honest, but you come walking in, no problem. So.
He walks in and he just pauses at the door moment. He's like, Slappy hasn't been picking up my phone calls. Rod has gone missing.
Rod abandoned us, Sully. When you were a pancake on the floor, Rod left the van and ran away.
I don't know how many of his gang you usually deal with, but you're not going to see them unless they want you to see them. They're real slick. I should learn them.
He shakes his head at it. He's going to be disappointed. You're aware of that, right? Maybe even happy. But it's what it is. Well, we're still here, so that's at least something to work with. I would dare say if you have anything to say to him while you have the opportunity, that would probably be the time over there, considering that you'll probably feel different after having a drink or two.
I think I agree with Sully.
Oh, no, his eyes at that. All right. Yeah, let's get ready then. And Sully will just quietly walk and get changed. And yep, he'll come out as well with his gym bag.
Yeah, Warren will just pop up and then one more up at the top of his normal crisp collar shirt and throw in the Warren jacket.
So Warren profiling, everyone else is feeling pretty groovy. We're going to say that. Fee-wise, I'm going to say irrelevant here because we're just going for enough gagging, we'll say. But you're taking it back to the tuned up with Bella for that second drink. Yeah?
That'll be correct.
Okay. I say no one is shocked to see the opulence that this guy has. You tend to go to the it's more on the north side, far north side of the city. There is a little quiet hubby hole estates folks like to talk about. It's not too far from actual activity, but they exist out there. And Ballard's home is no different. And you see, nice little turnaround, driveways, possibly drive back, park, get out, and do the whole thing. And what's in the castle, it's definitely well off, as you would come to expect. And attendance is, of course, Ballard. He's sitting at the table. It's not odd for you guys to see. There's about 3 or 4 people there. They look to be obviously retainers because they're picking on food, plus with some food on it. So one guy's finished eating. Some sort of appears to be probably like a steak dinner. Some drink was there as they're removing this all off the table upon guests arriving. But the guy who met you at the door, I don't want to call him a butler because he's not. It looks like he might even live there. You know what I mean? Like it's, oh, hey guys, welcome. Just hang out here for a second. They're finishing up eating. And Ballard looks completely calm, right? Not like somebody who's worried about. He doesn't have a care in the world. You're visiting him. He has his cigar out, sitting at his own head of the dinner table, smile on his face. And when you guys come, you'll see immediately that they take out 2 other glasses that they'll put on the table, and they're empty for obvious reasons. Things haven't occurred yet. But Ballard himself will greet everybody with simple gestures. Be seated. Be seated.
Yeah, and we'll sit down next to Warren.
Now, Sully will also take place wherever he's told.
So about that, that's exactly what opened my mouth. Where would someone take place?
He would take his place. Would he have enough etiquette to know where he should be standing regarding?
I was waiting for that on purpose. Want to see if you were going to assume. Yeah, they're to sit down, obviously in front of the empty glasses. They know what they're there for. You're still back to the left of Ballard. And this is because not only from Grace, so note the fact that you're still under his tutelage.
Right.
Something, but you just standing there would definitely convey that. Now, for Ramsey, you have no idea why he's standing there. His head's not about, he's not kneeling like it's a pharaoh of Egypt or anything like that. Just that's for Sullivan standing waiting. And Ballard will have a impassable, shark-like gaze at both of you as he just has silence. Weight of the room, you feel like, isn't there supposed to be something said? Nothing.
Hey, this is really his school we're swimming, right? I'm not saying shit. He's being spoken to. I grew up like a
Oh, you'd like me to fill your cup then?
If that's the way these things have never been through this process, sir.
So, bring me the cups.
I'm going to continue to do as I'm told. Pick it up, bring it up.
As you go to stand, he'll immediately wave it up on the left side where you're at, Sullivan. As you're about to stand, and Ballard's like, that won't do. Bring me the cups. That's all he says.
Sullivan would continue to collect one.
Okay. So that's what I was waiting for, right? You survey. That's the point there, I guess. So when you get up to bring the cup, he's like, oh, waves off, and then it takes a moment. Sullivan's like, oh, and he'll walk over to the cups. As you get that, and he'll bring it back over. And with that, Ballard, quick as you please, you'll see him bite one wrist. He'll cloth over it as he'll bring a cup down and begin filling it. And you can smell the today. Vintage of an elder is ever delicious. As I'll give you some big fat bottom wine glasses that he fills up to like the half mark. And he'll put it down for 1, do it for 2. This is how we are. You will see him lick his wrist.
When he does that, the cups, Ramsey's fangs will descend, and he will shoot a glance over at Warren.
I'll just kind of stick my hand out and put it on your shoulder and do my best to relax my boy without having to say anything.
Yeah, I will not move out of the chair.
I'm assuming Sullivan brings the glasses back.
Yes.
And Ballard will wrap the table once with his knuckles. I'll drink up. As he'll go back to putting this in his mouth and just observing you both.
Bob, is there anything that I can do here to kind of sell some apprehension about drinking what's in this cup?
Yeah, you just get apprehensive about drinking the cup. One doesn't sell it if you're saying, does he know things? Maybe.
What I'm saying is I feel like I feel like Warren would want to sell that he doesn't want to do this because in actuality he does not care about drinking what's in the cup. If that's not a thing, and it's in Mike's head, don't worry about it.
What I'm going to say is I think it's a thing because you're making it. So if you would like to sell, absolutely, it's just a matter of performance. Just well, your manipulation performance, and in lieu of performance, you don't have that. Remember, go with 2 die.
Oh, wait. So take away an additional 2 die because I don't have performance?
That's correct.
Oh, shit.
By the way, then everybody can act.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if you know that. Or to perform. Everybody can sing. Everybody can play an instrument. And so why to perform is because you're literally trying not to overact. Do just the right amount to sell. I want to do this. I'm apprehensive. I couldn't possibly. But can your character figure out what the ratio is? And if he does a performance, sure, he thinks he does. One can also succeed as a cost. Don't ever forget that.
In light of the fact that I kind of know how this role is supposed to go, I think I'll forward the role and succeed at a cost.
All right. What about Ramsey? You just bottomed up?
Yeah, I'll just bottomed up.
That's because it's Ramsey, right? It's blood. Post it. And you're drinking it. You get 10 seconds. Over Warren, you're like, I don't know. Must be me, like, I will look. Yes. Right? You use a whistle, of course you will. That's the point. And you're like, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. You drink it, right? A lot of you think, oh no, I can't possibly be 2 nights bound to you. What will I think of my own shirts to wear? Right? Which then would happen if you wreck the performance, all right? Why the cost is because it's suspicion. Why would you say that? You just had to drink. Why would you say anything? That's the other cost point. Right? Ramsey just drinks. For both of you, we're making sure this option not be bound completely. Again, once the things are working, that's that in their force. It doesn't say anything about the feelings that develop from the second, right? That's where you're at. He's not so bad. Like walking in here and treat Sullivan, we did fuck up. You probably would have folded Sullivan in half and you never would see him again, honestly. That was an option on the table. Here he is, Servant got a chance to do right and survive. Sullivan would have died for shit. Failure is not no way. And it's in your head. And there's also a simple factor that how he treats the people who serve him well. There's a guy who lives here that clearly is a servant. They all got to eat a meal with him, kind of see how things are going. There's some nice day, you know? And there's something to the old fat cat, you know, that maybe it's so bad. That's your brain. You feel better about Bow than you did about Rod.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, it is hollow because in the back of your mind, you know for a fact that shouldn't be the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's instant. You walk in thinking some type of way about now it's completely changed with just drink. But when we talk potency to both of you, there is an addictive hunger that is built in you that is not, there's far too little of an amount. Far too little. And what you said. And how to be, well, if that's all for you, unless you have financial needs or advice need given, I do believe it done.
Ramsey's fangs are still distended, but he'll look at Ballard and then he'll slowly go look at Warren.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good. Thank you. I mean, I'm not really hiding it. I will leave my hand on Ramsey's shoulder, right, and kind of just nod to it. As reassuring as I can possibly be.
He'll just look at your hand and he'll look at you and he'll just walk off to Sully's car or whoever's car we came in.
So Ramsey stands and starts walking off. You get a shake the feeling that it's weird to you. I'm getting the impression that Brian, it's you're projecting from Ramsey to Warren. Weird that we're not doing something.
Yeah,
Warren's like,
I don't know why we're not killing him like we planned on killing him, but if we don't both jump, and he's told me twice no.
Let's rein in. That's what you get that. That's what you get, Warren. There's something we're supposed to do, and Ramsey's just gonna walk ahead for the second attempt and nothing happens.
I'm gonna wait. I do have something to say to Ramsey, but I need to see if we're joined and or follow first.
Joiner followed by Sullivan or
Sullivan and attendant anyone. It's for Ramsey's ears only. To the best of my ability, anyway.
What I will say is that Sullivan wasn't dismissed. For you two walking up to the car, Sullivan's still inside. But it gives you time to head out and get to the car.
When I think I have some privacy, I'll just say, look, man, remember, it wasn't just deal with it. It was deal with it discreetly. At this man's house with all the people who work for him, with Sullivan standing right there.
Sullivan's a dead man. What Sullivan sees or hears does not matter.
Sullivan's a dead man who's still friendly with his claim to see. So Ballard would have to kill Sullivan on the spot, and that leads to the story being told anyway.
What I'm going to tell you, Ramsey, is point blank. I don't need you to resolve Coach roll because I have control of the character. I would need to resolve fucking Coach roll.
Yes, I do. I want the player to get what he's saying, but no.
It's a bit what it is. It's one of those things. For Mike, you always have a reason not to pull the trigger. There's always this reason that she got pulling up every time. It's definitely conflicting with Ramsey's instinct that we said we were doing this, it gets done, and you're like, the time has to be perfect. Oh, that's what? You know who you are, and that's where we're at. To note that.
Hey,
this was. Yep.
I just remembered something. You know, going back to my ethics and all of that. I don't necessarily think the beast is wrong. Can I instead roll to ride the wave and direct that at Ballard and not Warren?
So what we can say is that you can absolutely do that, and I won't have you roll for that. Because on account of, I don't think it is that you're mad at Warren as much as you're frustrated and aggravated.
Yes.
And so if you're saying you would just give in to then just blitz into the place to do what you want to do, you absolutely can. Is that your intent?
Yes, it is.
Now, I'm going to send you a message.
Mm-hmm.
And I need you to role play it accordingly, okay?
Yes, sir.
Question. So what you two just received, and something you should know about. Are you aware of what is going on with that, though? That's the first thing we'll do. So I can guide you through it as we get there.
I'm unaware, but I have an inkling from V20.
I tell you what. So if we got time here, we'll just slap this down for you.
Mm-hmm. And we are back on. So we got
Brennan, you're all right, or do you need further direction?
No, I got it.
All right. Mike likes the mechanic aspect, but I will definitely clue you in. And due to the sensitive nature of Mike's feelings about stuff like this, I think it's fair that we just let him know ahead of time. Are we still good, Brennan, or did you still
we are
adjusting?
good. We are good.
Okay. So the feeling of what this is, Ramsey, is accordingly. I'll let you dictate as you do. Is you're tearing off to do what you have going on, and you can tell immediately what's going on, Warren. Feel the compulsion. There's a lot he doesn't know. You get the idea. How do we want to start this scene at the top, initiative-wise? I could already pre-looked. I know it's a tie between you both, but we'll base it on frenzy. But Ramsey might get to do his action first, and you can tell where he's heading for that. At least what it seems he's doing. What are you going to be doing, Warren?
I got to stop him. He's about to make a terrible mistake. He's my brother. I don't want to hurt him, but I can't let him rush back in there and attack the big man. That's no good.
All right. And that's the way it's got to be. Sullivan, what Ballard will do is he'll hand you a cigar. Then you'll see him put down, has to be by the thickness of the bills and the fact that it's marked at being about maybe 10K on the band. He'll put it on the table. My money goes to Warren. As a look at you.
He will stand there a moment. I think you might be right.
What? You bet. He'll poke a meaty sausage into your chest. You bet. You know them better than I. Inside track. This isn't just for kicks.
He'll pull out his, if only because he knows what Ballard's doing, and he does it with straight humility. He'll pull out any bills that he has, not even meager, and he'll even put a card behind it.
Why I say this is because the whole setup to you is not Ballard. The guys at the table, them leaving, those are security guys. I didn't say it out loud. That's because those two wouldn't know, and I knew you've been here. Mm-hmm. Those are security guys that got up. That's one thing. That must have been a failsafe, and they left accordingly. And then they came in and drank, and you weren't expecting that. You're not certain if Ballard expected that. But then it seems like he must, because as Ramsey starts tearing off towards the door, and you hear the snarl as he's going at it, Warren equally is on his heels coming at him as well, which forces Ramsey to turn around. The reason being, he's not going to blindly head towards the door to go after something like a heat-seeking missile if someone's coming from behind him to attack him. Mm-hmm. In particular, if he was already annoyed with that person. And he was. He did it to get away from him. But Warren, you know that. So at this point, gentlemen, we're in this conflict, right, what we're going to have to do. And it's up to you guys. I always do this. It's two players going at it. Mm-hmm. It can be the long route, where we're just going to see where the slugs land until it's done, or we're going to go with a one and done, or if you prefer, best of three. How would you like to resolve this?
I'm fine with one and done.
Okay. With that said, I need to know what powers are going into this, if any.
Mm-hmm. Toughness and feral claws.
Okay.
Feral weapons, whatever.
Potence and presence.
Okay. And presence. Okay. So, gentlemen, give me your rouses first to activate powers as needed. That's very important.
We have to roll those separately, or should I just roll 2 dice, or how are we doing this?
What I would do is, because it's the advantage of rolling at the same time, is you can roll the dice to see what, because they're going to be activated, right? That's what rousing does. The problem is that you have to take them in successive order. So if you say you're going to activate potence then presence, okay. So if one of them puts you over a hunger mark, then you can't spend for it. Then obviously the other, it doesn't count. See what I'm saying?
That does put me at hunger 3.
Okay, hunger 3 is fine because you can still afford what you're doing. See what I'm saying? It's if you went beyond 4, right? You're at that 5 and I'm empty. I can't do the next ones, and you just wouldn't be able to activate the power,
right?
And would be direly hungry, right? Is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the folks at home, just to explain what's going on here, and for folks to see how this goes, there is a magnificent thought that comes to mind as you're rushing towards the house. Ramsey, and you're going to put an arrow right in his heart. You're going to deal with him. You are absolutely going to do that. The problem is there's a hesitance. That is part of the bond.
Mm-hmm.
You now have. And that moment's hesitance is because Warren is literally hauling ass after you. Before you get to tear the door open, he's able to get a hand reaching out towards you to stop you. And that's odd to you, right? Because as you're frenzied, and as you turn around, it's just you're just going to deal with the defense of it, right? Someone's attacking you, you're lashing out with claw, because nobody should touch Ramsey when he's on the prowl like that or unleashed. Warren, for you, you absolutely know what's going on. You've been a plant for a long time in the Sabbat as Critus' #1 student, and you know that. You went through his program successfully. You're the first successful person to infiltrate the Sabbat and come out, and you feel that, and you owe that success to the Ballard. He's been funding you. He's kept you in secret. He's helped from the very worst excesses from your whole group getting killed to getting here, paved the way getting inside, and the loss of Critias. And you just can't let this go. Ramsey might still be able to be converted, but he's just Sabbat scum. And you know that. You can shrug off the shackles of your indoctrination, just not that tight vinculum, which is what you're acting upon now. But as he turns with claws, that brewer in you knows, you know a dog when it needs to be put down. And that's the feel you have, depending on the outcome. So for both of you, this comes down to, and for the audience at home, this is called Dirty Dominate 4.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty Double Dog Dirty Dominate 4 is what this is called. You do not try to out fuck a Ventrue. It just, you can't do it when it's done on their terms, and this is exactly what this is. With that said, gentlemen, what you're rolling here, and it's about intent, right? It's up to you. You can try to be defensive here, i.e., you can try to defend yourself from Ramsey or put him down. But note this, Warren. Claws out in his mode, he will kill you. That's the mode that he's in. It's up to you how you choose to go at this.
Well, I mean, he's still my brother, and I'm still faster than him. So I'm going to try to play it defensive and hope I can get him under control. You know, I failed both of my rouse checks, but my intent was to get Swole and entrance him and see if it works out.
Okay, so even if your intent is to entrance him, I'm letting you know that these are all defensive minded, is what you're announcing, right? So what you're rolling is your dodge, and well, it's an attempt to dodge is what this is. So this is going to be your dex, and I believe it's athletics. If I'm not cross-genring again, which is possible, it's not. It's your dex athletics that you're rolling, homie. For that end, even though you're faster, your speed does not give you an automatic way to get out of the way. Hear what I'm saying? You're aware of your speed and the benefits you get?
Yeah.
Okay. So for Ramsey, what you're rolling is, of course, your strength brawl.
Mm-hmm.
You're tearing right at it. Remember, your +2 for your claws doesn't matter unless you connect.
Right. Does being in frenzy give you like the blood surge bonus in V5? I cannot recall.
You would have to blood surge to have that bonus, right? But you're free to do so in a frenzy.
Okay, I would like to do so.
Okay,
so that would give me +2 to it. That's a messy critical. Now I'm at hunger 4.
Yeah, I failed both my rouse checks. I was at hunger 4 when we got started.
Okay, this matters incredibly, right? Because as the hunger gets depleted, so does the care to be so cautious. To this care, let me double check here. Now we're just rolling successes, right? You got the rouses done. You guys are getting your. Let's see it, gentlemen. Let's see who wins the combat. Just roll out.
Oh, I rolled the 6 brawl.
Did
that
you?
was
Did I miss that?
7 successes.
Yes, you
that was
did. That's the messy critical.
Yes.
What about you, Mike?
I got 2 successes on my Dex Athletics.
That is as tail of tape as ever gets, gentlemen. I appreciate you going with a speedy choice, though you did not have to. The effect is telling. For this Sullivan to see what happens, it may be that Warren was trying to get out of the way the whole entire time, and Ballard will chuckle as you can kind of hear him just going, "I knew it," because you'll see Warren dip and dive. The first slash misses him, except it does slash open his shirt, but Warren believes he can keep distance. The problem with Ramsey is that Ramsey is more than relentless. Where Warren can keep steps ahead, you can see the hunger on Warren's face. Though they had blood, it was not significant enough to make it to where they were prepped. They didn't know they were going to fight, let alone each other. And so they had a handle on it. And as Warren backs up a couple more, you'll see that Ramsey eventually, it's not just haymaker swings either. This creature knows how to harry somebody into a corner. And where Warren's zipping around, every time he looks back to see what he's hopping over, what wall he's getting near next, Ramsey has no need to do that. It's as if he has a sixth sense of his surroundings. As you watch him leap up off the ledge to plant his foot on the wall to dive directly at Warren, and actually gets his claws almost a la Wolverine style right in the chest. At that point, Warren's trying to pry him off of him, but as Warren gets one hand to pry away, there's a headbutt from Ramsey, followed by his claws digging in and picking him up. And Warren will, for a moment, try to break free from the grasp, but it was only to let his buddy get back at him, as you see feelings get in the way of getting the job done. As eventually Warren's left in tatters in the ground. You are impaired and damaged is where this is, superficial damage, Warren, at this point. But you're definitely on the ground, shredded. Your insides, most of your entrails are out on the ground. You're picking your head up weakly, and there is a resolve composure you must do from being attacked and savaged by your friend so harshly, but you are a bit weakened to continue this fight as well. Before we roll, you can opt to give a willpower and supplant this to try to get away, or at least to lay there and begin healing and fighting off that frenzy every round, if you hear what I'm saying. One can fake to heal as you're there, but you can feel how hungry you are. You're a danger close of the beast taking over any way you look at it.
Yeah, the only way is through. Do I include my hunger in that resolve composure, that frenzy roll?
No, not at all. But you do add a willpower 1. So you got one more die you can add to that, by the way. FYI.
Okay. I'll add that and mark off the willpower. There we go. You were actually able to hold it back. This is a matter of survival. That's my rule on it. I'm aware of the Burrot penchant for anger. This is your brother. You do have that strong feeling. This is the viniculi working to effect. You would tear at him. You would kill him. You want to deal with it. The beast does have some of that, but even the beast feels that tie. You don't know why this has happened. He certainly knows how to kill a vampire. But in his stage, he's set out to do what he was here to do. Right? He dropped you, and that actually cools your blood, Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
As he's there, defeated on the ground, and as far as you're concerned, he's no longer a threat. And that frustration is realized. What you weren't prepared for is that you could smell the gun oil and are aware of, like, there's 4 guys out on the side, and you know all of them. They were just in there at the table eating.
Mm-hmm.
They're out there now, and they have rather automatic weapons, but it's who's behind him you weren't expecting. As you hear this chuckle, grab it. This gentleman is standing out there, and what you'll hear him say is, I remember when all of you came in to talk to me, and I remember, who was it? Sullivan said he had a plan and paid some money, and we were supposed to be on the same side. I would have done this for free is the fun part. You know that, right? As he looks at you, Ramsey.
I don't know who this guy is, and I don't think Ramsey would really care right now. Ramsey would just fuck it. He would just go for him.
You do go for him. I will give you all due roll, sir. This is all on you. We're at Hunger 4.
Uh-huh.
We could definitely give him the frenzy again and see where it gets to. You already got the claws out and do all that dance. Or it's a 5-on-1 showdown, and one of them is definitely a kindred. How would you like to go about it?
I say that. I think that's like that was the Brentron like impulsive thing, right? Like have that Red Dead ending where like you have that shootout, maybe you get a couple of them, but you're going down. That's also not very harmonist, though, right?
My name's Pitt, and you ain't getting away with this shit. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
If you feel that scene is built up because this is the end dance,
okay,
I will give it to you.
then this is the end dance. I appreciate you giving me the chance to roll it down. I'm not going to monopolize time with a bunch of rolls when we know how this is going to end.
I have nothing but respect for you with recognizing when the chips are down, how this goes. But as expected, here's what has to be done. You're already tired, but you're not weakened. That's what the gunfire does serve to do. As Ramsey will shred through 3 of these guys. 3 of those guys shooting at him, constant gunfire before the clips have to be reloaded. It's the problem is Balthazar. And for Sullivan, you get a bird's eye view of watching how the Camarilla does it. Balthazar lets the Sabbat soak bullet after bullet. You'll even see as Warren heals enough to get up to try to help his brethren, because I'm assuming that's what you would do, is realizing he's fully engaged. And that's when Balthazar acts. And he doesn't go for Ramsey. He blitzes and puts Warren down in 1. This guy's reputation, you heard a lot of shit talk about what he can do and can't do. But when dealing with the Sabbat, maybe this guy knows a thing or two. And what he does is Warren getting up to charge behind Ramsey as he's already soaking rounds. Balthazar is more than there fast to hit Warren once to put him back in the ground. But it's when he starts raising his foot to stomp it down on Warren's head repeatedly. It's as if as he's trying to heal, and Balthazar knows the extent of what a canine can do, you're dealing with someone that has dealt with threat after threat after threat from the Immortal Persuasion and almost instinctively knows when somebody's low in the tank. And so when he starts breaking bones and Warren's not rolling out of way with super speed or jumping to because he got jacked by his buddy, you see Balthazar crush him immobile. Problem is you start hearing him out there, it's just like I always said, the key number, he'll say something to the tune of, I don't want to do this. I feel I've done this a lot and I get uncomfortable being this way. But there is a racial slur fest that comes out of him talking about stomping his white boots in a black man's hide as he's out here. And it's like, same as it ever motherfucking was as he gets it done out there. But that's because Ramsey doesn't have time to calm down, to turn around and go at him. That 4th guy who's lighting Ramsey up will put him on the ground. The kindred body can only sustain so much. However, they are torpid, not dead. What I love about V5 is it's very simple. If your head's not torn off, if sunlight doesn't hit you, if you aren't set on fire, you can only take so much ag before torpid. And that's where this lays over and goes to. And Ramsey is hardy, not as hardy as you thought. And you begin to remember he's an ambush predator. This guy's a scout. People don't get, he's not a charge the line guy. He can if he has to, but it's always been Warren who's led that charge, drawn the direction. Ramsey's the finisher. Separate in this capacity, it's pretty chilling to you to see that Ballard knew who to grab and just how to handle it. And it's even more chilling as Ballard will put his hand on your shoulder and you may think you're out of it. And you may think you don't have to do anything. But 2 more nights you'll be with me. Servitude will have its privileges. You are never getting a chance to fuck it up again, Sullivan. It will be as it was meant to be in your very next task, on your lonesome, if need be. Kevin Jackson will be staked by you. Now, as he says that and begins filling up your cup, there is a person who will come up from the kitchen, who's completely unexpected, but is wearing a smock, like he's been barbecuing for people. And it's a little awkward. Let me grab that guy. Sullivan, you have to pretend you've never seen him, though I'm pretty fucking positive you absolutely know who this is. Where is this photo? Oh, I'm upset. You've caught me with my pants down. Who you're going to see is Tom Overstreet. And actually, you might be able to help me, Bernal. Do you still have that photo of Tom? I saved everything about this guy but your photo, and it's kind of funny.
Let me see what I got.
It's not going to matter too much other than to say, for you, Sullivan, you'll see this very odd character with the coldest look on his face that you've ever seen. It's of somebody of knowing of a job well done, like didn't have to get his hands dirty. And as he's coming up with the smock, and you see him raise a finger, I know when I joined your organization that I thought that there would be opportunities, fat man. I could never dream that I would get my hands back on two packmates like you have. And I assure you, they're never going to see the light of day again. There's just not two chances they're going to get. But I got to let you know something. Between you and me, your house has been marked. I know the Sabbat are going to come for you next. Just know that. And you'll see Tom go outside, and he'll lay a hand on one shoulder of a downed Ramsey, and Warren he'll grab gruffly. Like he'll pick up the back, like broken eggshell head of Warren and pick him up. And he goes, "Oh, you're all mine, boy. You're all mine. I've been waiting to get a piece of you." And we'll be dragging him off. This is someone who very much sometime a dog gets his day and wins in the end. And that's what he gets. And the only thing you can understand, Sullivan, is throughout this drama that's sort of played out of Seesaw, you don't know how Slappy got out of it. You really don't. You're entrapped. You're here. He's gone and vanished. Your assumption is Ballard probably put him away too. He probably dealt with him smooth. And there's nothing you could do. Part of you screaming inside at the simple fact that immortality to slavery forever is its own condemnation of anything else.
Right.
But there is satisfaction. Warren did pay the price for his betrayal. And it's a done deal. You walked them into their fate. It's exactly what you did. As the Phoenix Crusade will come to an end. Will finally be concluded, gentlemen, on all sides as well. It's the end story. That is definitely not the end I wrote down. I planned one hellacious romp through killing everyone in Chicago when the Sabbat Pack initially came here. And when it didn't happen that way, very much curious what went on. But I'll take any questions or thoughts you guys have about the ending, especially tying things together or answering, or for me, I don't know how you guys didn't see certain things happening, but I kind of felt that you might have had an inkling just how you always overturned what might have been happening next. I was enjoying that outcome.
Go ahead, Mike. No, you got it, Mike.
Okay. So it's not a question, right? I just want to say it's been a rare experience. I don't know. I'll go so far as to say this is probably the first time where, as a player, I could see certain things coming and feel how something is going to shake out. And because of that, what to do in RP made perfect sense. I've never had that experience before in any other game. I'm hoping it's growth, but it's unique. Like normally you get into your character's head and it's like, oh, I got to fight the system. I see this coming. Okay, I got to do something else. But this game, these last few sessions have really felt like, no. This is what's supposed to happen. This is how Warren feels, and it makes it a lot easier to make decisions. And I really appreciate that.
I think that's awesome. I enjoyed it too. I felt that there was a very natural feel to a lot of what I won't say the reactions. I'm not going to take that away from you guys. It's really shocked me on more than one night of role play. But I do like how your stories told a world of difference as to what you could do, and some lack of stories left some people floored, I think, a lot as well.
I'm more interested in how Tom hooked up with Ballard.
Dude.
I love that question. So Ballard is ever an opportunist. The simple fact is you guys all came in to undergo Crisis' indoctrination, which didn't fit with the venture since the jump. And the only reason Ballard okayed it, because yes, the prince doesn't just get to do it. He has to talk to the Primogen about what they're doing. Ballard okayed it because it was always an opportunity to take a patsy, pull him to the side, and get what he wants done. That patsy always was Tom. Tom had the balls to go into the heart of where the Chicago violence was and try to take out a gang completely, which is exactly what Ballard wanted, because he wanted to deal with the influence that Kevin Jackson had and begin to work on it, and your pack would have been that. I had that all mapped out and had to stop abruptly because I forgot what hardcore Sabat fan Bernogle was, and you can kiss his ass, rosy red cheeks and all, that was going to happen. The part that overturned is Kevin Jackson never gave Tom his ghoul back.
Mm-hmm.
Never did it. By you guys not going with it and not fulfilling the part you would have, KJ held on to her and is still there. And the only way Tom could get her back was to do that. Why so important? Tom's on Path of Night.
Mm-hmm.
That woman he saved under the tenements of his path. She's an innocent. She shouldn't suffer the way that is. And to Tom, she would suffer because he would be the one to protect her and release her back into the wild. And so he always wanted his revenge. That never stopped it. But Ballard is a guy who's not going to have to, let's put it this way, in elder fashion, I'm not going to put Tom in front of you guys until. In other words, Tom was always going to be strung along. The flaw of the Sabat pack broken. He didn't have the sect to back him. He was on his own too, waiting his time. Who was screwing that up? The surrogate.
Yeah.
Goddamn surrogate.
That much I'll tell you. When you saw that doctor, I was like, holy shit. If they go for that doctor first, none of tonight's going to happen. Because it's going to lead right to Tom. It's going to lead right to Tom. It was that easy. Yes, you would have saw the surrogate get back with Tom, which is what all those people were going to go to, as they were systematically taking apart Sullivan, thinking it was getting to you two.
Oh.
It was always about tuning up the old band. If that makes sense to you.
I think so. And so was them killing Critias? I'm assuming that pack took out Critias. Was that like with Ballard's backing?
No, actually, it was Slappy that killed Critias inadvertently.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, what?
As you guys,
I would have never thought.
As you guys went through the training and were talking, Slappy's deliberate ignoring what was going on in Clan Bruja, it was between the Hellenes and the Fjords is what was going on. As Anita was kicking up the flack of the Anarchs, said that this is bullshit. Critias doesn't see her as a real thing and is ever getting away. Slappy's creation, you making Slappy, puts in that mix a volatile combination of the fact that Cornelius is choosing you in favor to bring the Bruja forward, and your refusal to go to that big clan meeting that was out there is actually escalating things between them all. Damien's is a supporter of Critias for obvious reasons. And that's definitely in the clans. I'm part of the hierarchy, but the problem is that Critias comes to a head when you're ignoring the Revolutionary Council that Anita was holding back from the city, which is Riot in her Revolutionary Council. If you don't know the name Riot, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say she literally might as well be Sabat, her and the rest of that council. That's who went and did it, but they couldn't do it without Tom. When Tom had, and you guessed this correct, Sullivan's son embraced, he did it with all sorts of apple pie, butterfly feelings, daddy leaving you behind, and the surrogate helped hammer these ideas home.
Oh, see, I thought it was the surrogate that embraced. Oh.
No, he was La Sombra. That's one of the number one reasons why this kid wouldn't go see his dad. That's one of the number one. Because he wasn't supposed to. But when they went to see Critias, a lot of the ashes that were around him were because of the ineffectiveness of that council. Nobody knew how old Critias was. It was always a rumor. People read him and think he walks around, I'm from Carthage. Every elder of Clan Bruja says that.
Right.
Yeah, but then they encounter this dude. He's from fucking Carthage. And, violence happens, but he still couldn't overcome the odds.
Mm-hmm.
Is how it was. And that guy was important, which is another reason I thought would tip, because I thought you guys were going to get his son, pry that from his head of what happened, and learn just how dominated he was in the end when he's just a puppet of the surrogate and Tom. At that point, as a job well done.
Now it's Ramsey and Warren that are the puppets.
In the end, yes. The choice to go against Ballard, that happened from the first time you guys took the took the drink from the cup on Ballard. You can look in the storyteller screen if you guys choose to see that outcome.
Mm-hmm.
It's very powerful. Level 4 dominating V5. And as I had it written down, I said to myself, I'll leave it to a die roll, but I'll do the same thing we do for NPCs. We're going to have the stat that required as a difficulty that he has to obtain for it to be a successor. He can never affect you with it the rest of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And he crushed it on 2. And that's easy because he has like a pool of 9 to put in perspective to do what he has to do. Because what psycho would just take Sabat at their word?
Right.
Right? You're notorious for breaking blood bonds. It's your thing. So he absolutely was going to hedge his bets, but he still was going to use you for what you were for. didn't care who you would hurt. He didn't like the rest of the Primogen Council, in fact. But he damn sure was going to make sure he didn't get hurt. Which is why when Sullivan, when you made the call in your downtime this past week, DJ, we're like, no, I'm absolutely telling Ballard. Because Warren betrayed us. I said to myself, that insurance pays dividends. But that's how to me, that's how Camarilla elders play games. That's how that works out, to see how it goes. But any of this would have been circumvented if you see this, if you would have walked in and killed KJ like that scene was meant, right? That sure, Damien might get involved, but there's enough of you. And we're going to see what's what. Kevin Jackson is not a destroyer of worlds with his bare hands. He's still a kindred, but he's on par with you guys. His power comes from what he's cultivated over time, and it's the respect he has for that. And there's a lot of people who know that. But this game, if anything, has been to showcase that the very title of Prince and the rumors around the Prince is its own power.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what power was on that sheet as much. If that Prince can carry that prestige, you have a ruler. And that's where it is. As far as Loden, I actually wanted you to see, because if you would have fell in line behind Sullivan's plan, that would have been a hell of a Ventrue comeback in that term. And indeed, who knows how this story will pan out. I like to leave that there. Let's just say that I believe in a multiple games fit in one. You guys have told the tale of the pack that would have, as the Crusade fails in Chicago, inevitably.
The pack that would have. Oh, the arrow. Oh, my heart.
Well, here's the reality. Remember, I said this is an experiment. I said this at the beginning. Is there a realistic way to tell, before they came out with the Sabbat books, right? Is this a way to tell a story of how the Sabbat would go about? The answer is yes. You didn't have the Black Hand giving you intel. You didn't have the connection with Nosferatu and Tribute in bed with the Nosferatu in the city, giving a healthy back and forth about who's what and why, what the rumors were. There was no mentor to guide you through it. There was an older pack that was a handful just to deal with. They're anachronistic. The navigators were fucking up left and right.
Mm-hmm.
And, but things got worse when you got involved trying to impress, which is going to happen. And the only people who seem to adapt is the widows, but I promise you, they're not as hidden as they think they are. That's what you get. You get diehards trying to, we're going to take over a city. You should have marched to the blood war. That's what you should have been, right? You should have got the hell out of here with death cults to combine. So what I like is that you talk about that younger pack where, by the way, Mike's not an infiltrator. Yeah. That was a dominated feeling, just FYI, that he had put in there because he is a former student of Carthage, or Critias, not Carthage. I want to point that out about Mike. You chose a complex character who's what was your goal again? Do you remember it?
My goal was to make my pack see that there's a third way, to get them to conform. Like, look, we don't have to murder people all the fucking time.
So he was trying to form a new set out of the ashes of what the Sabbat was, to make it something else, with a Pathan Knight played by you, Bernogle, who I enjoy, that every time he was like, there's another way, I have a dream. You were like, me too. It's of little kids without the ability to run away fast. That seems to be
break their knees.
Nothing he could do, which made it very good. I enjoy the story. I really do.
Too. I felt very, man, Sullivan was a personal hell, like the personal heart. So like he it's like the beginning of every like good horror movie, right? He's like, I could flip him. I could definitely do this. He's young. He's an upstart. He wants to go ahead and put his name on paper, but he loses his wife. He loses his kid. He loses his humanity along the way, and he just starts caring less and less about himself and just ends up in debt and like eternal servitude. So sometimes the old ways are better.
Man, that Warren wishes he would have taken that plane ticket, huh?
No, because I tell you, I have.
Yeah, no, I know.
There's some choices you will never forget walking away from.
Yes.
Right. You don't know how they're gonna work out, but you do know how you're gonna feel if you don't deal with it.
I feel like we should have killed Ballard when we got to the fucking limo.
Oh, my wife kept reminding me when in between sessions that you should have like killed such and such and such and such and such and such when you had the second.
Well, see, here's the thing. If we had known what Ballard was going to try to make us do, we probably would have jumped him in there. And I'm sure that wouldn't have gone well either.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Ballard threw me for a fucking loop saying kill KJ.
Dude.
That I was like, what?
Yeah, that's a moment when you go, excuse me, hey,
It's like,
we need to leave.
How did we, the wayward Sabat pack of ne'er-do-wells, trip and fall into Ventrue cutthroating? Right? you know what I mean? I didn't see that coming. You know.
I'm not going to say this. See, there's no polite way I could say it. Yes, you could see it coming if you're the ST. If you have the ST eyes, then yes, you can see it. From your perspective, I will say this. I just hope that this serves an example for people to follow your own goals, to always follow the goals you put down. That's your guiding light. Those through any scene will see you well. Like if you think about it, was there any way for you to form a new sect by you following through what he was saying? Right? Go kill the prince. You are insane. Right? This doesn't help. Like that's no different than where you came from, or is it? Does that serve your goal to march that forward? Build allies. I think a lot of what we had happen here was, man, that's too big for me. I'm going to go tell this NPC, maybe get clemency, and then you realize that they're just as bad as the person who sent you after them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like any glass house, once people start throwing stones, that all comes down, right? That's what it is. Is Clan Ventrue really that way? Yes. Read the book. They're absolutely that cutthroat. If there's a chance for somebody to get got and someone else to move up, yes, they're going to take the opportunity.
Everybody's a baby CEO, and every relationship is a hostile takeover if the incentives are high enough. I perfect.
I applaud you in forcing out. Like, honestly, Sullivan is a bastard. And you'd even mean to, DJ. I was like, if you just would have gone to that meeting in the underground, he would never had to have revealed himself.
Mm-hmm.
Patron for days. I will wave, and all this goes away. People don't know I'm here. It's fine. And then you snubbed him. And I sat there reading that. And I was like, there's no way Loden takes that. I offer you a way out, and you're telling me I don't matter. I was like, I definitely know who's getting a meeting.
Yeah.
Right. And to remind him Daddy's home. It was good. It's really good. I thank you guys. Is this the end of us doing online games? Absolutely not. I had a lot of fun doing this. I think there's a lot to show and growth. I'm going to say this off the bat, Mike, there was definite growth in your role play. I planned out today blow by blow. I didn't know who was going to win between you and Ramsey, and that you were definitely going to fight it out to the end because you hate getting mind whammied. You've said that for years now. Don't whammy me, Bob. I hate getting whammied, whammy. But you got whammied. And so I was like, now he's going to go down swinging. And you said, nope, not going to do that to everybody. I want the realistic way I could see it going. Okay. And that's what happened. Would Ramsey win between the two? When you fight defensively, yes. Because in the long run, he could take more. I mean, it makes sense. The rules pan out for that. And that's why that over and one really, really does work.
But see, I said when my goals had to reset, Ramsey was the last thing I was holding on to.
Yeah.
Between the two of us, if somebody's going to die, it was going to be me anyway. But I thought I could get a grip on it.
I cheated. Do you remember how long I fought you on doing that? For me, this was foreshadowing. I put down what Ballard had done, and you were like, Ramsey's my touchstone. I was like, no, Mike. It means you're going to give him the fight even if you're winning. Don't do it. Don't do it, Mike. And you did it. I was like, I can't. All right, that's fair. I fought you so hard on that, but it was good you did it. But I want to say my hat's off to Bernogo, especially with Slappy.
Yes.
So many players do not logically play through shit like that. I go down with the team. What fucking team? Yes, we're all on this channel playing this game together. Yes, it gets recorded, but I have a great sire who sees trouble for me and wants me to leave to live because he cares. And I got this awesome brother who I spent a lot of time with. He did the touchstone role play was on point. And I felt it was a strong feel for the character to oppose what the Sabbat is. Trash. At the end of the day, the Sabbat's trash. I say this from a player who played a really good Sabbat La Sombra, fucking Path of Night followers. You were learning to do that path. I still think you emulated decently and did well. And then you played the opposite. Someone who cared about humanity and showcased that well in dealing with your touchstone and everything else. Even going so far as to say Warren, the police station lunatic blitzkrieg, was like, man, you've always had my back. I was shocked. I thought that was absolutely going to Sullivan without pass. I was like, okay. And then Warren showed, nah, man, you're cool. I just, some things you got to see through. You're like, all right, I guess I'll take my producer with me.
See, I was thinking Sullivan's the obvious choice, right? He's Camarilla, whatever. But then I'm like, man, fuck that guy. He's gotten us screwed over so many times and hidden so much information from me. I'm like, at least Warren, I know who the fuck he is. Maybe we could rent a 2-bedroom apartment or something and he can stop murdering people. I don't know. Start a sitcom.
Philosophy, you do the music.
That's a good point. To that end, guys, do you have any ideas off the top of your head of what you would like to play through next?
V20. Wait. Banu Hakeem playing game.
Mike has several opinions. Okay.
And it might just be because one of the first games I played was in this as part of this group was a Mortals game. That Second Inquisition book would be something I'd be interested in diving into.
Choices are some solid things.
I've also been thinking of settings and cities I've always wanted to participate or have a game in, and I always love stuff on the Atlantic side of the states, but I've also never done anything outside. I think the only cities I've been a part of in games are Chicago and some of the games that we ran that were based out of Atlanta and that surrounding area. So I've always wanted to take a look at the LA area and stuff, the multitude of cities on the East Coast.
I would like to play a Hakata game. I think post annihilation of the Giovanni and see what all the other bloodlines who are now under the fostership of one clan, the Skullduggery, not only in but outside of the clan.
Oh.
Even if it's in Europe, and that would give us a shot to see what goes down.
Interesting. What about you, Brennan?
The Hakata one kind of piqued my interest a lot more, I'll be honest. I've really wanted to play like a Giovanni specific game for a while, but because I never played like Giovanni Chronicles and I always hear people raging about it. I would like to play through something like that, but Hakata in V5, that would be interesting.
Yeah, my opinions are, I think a Hakata game would be fun because I kind of emulate Brennan's thought there. Because I've always wanted to play a Giovanni game. Like, I think those, it'd just be interesting to have, like, I don't know, just those, like, play through that, like, as, like, the family, you know? We'll give them the kiss.
About to put that rating R on the game, but yeah, I absolutely we'll see a lot about that. But what I will say is I'm gonna leave it up to folks as well. For those who are gonna see this, go ahead and submit to us what you would like to see, what you have in there, and we'll see what we come up with. We will meet again in 2 weeks to definitely to not just touch base, but finalize what we got going on. Mm-hmm. If not, have our session 0 just like we did last time. I think we should figure it out by then. And we'll get this up and going. Obviously, we'll change it from Phoenix Crusade, and that'll be coming soon. So look forward to that. But I'd like to thank everybody else for watching. Keep along with us. We're not over. We're just new game, and we're gonna get that going. So thank you guys. It's been a lovely ride. I understand that some folks will go, that sucks. I wanted to live and win. And why don't they always win? It's called the World of Darkness. Number 1, I'm going to add that. Number 2, it's a simple fact that they were the Sabbat first. This wasn't about Slappy. This wasn't about any new character beyond the original Sabbat. And the moment Ramsey and Warren went, that's why the game ended. Because we certainly could continue with Sullivan, and even Slappy going to LA could be brought back. That wasn't the game. So, but everybody kind of chose how they went out. And some went out on their feet, and some saw like rot. He knew. He could smell it.
Peace.
And was gone. And hate the Nosferatu call him a coward, but I know someone who's alive.
I've coward or a dead hero, right?
There it is, you know. Brave men die while the rats get fat, right? Now how it goes, or something like that. But anyway, thank you, everybody.
Thank you for listening to our 25 Years of Vampire the Masquerade podcast. If you like what you heard and want to support us, please share it with others or leave a review. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.